Hi, chat. How are we?
Hello.
While Joe is
Hello.
setting up the dock still, Light and I are going to try to guess the game.
Uh-oh.
Yeah. Hope everyone's doing well. Big episode this week. I'm excited. It always feels.
Is it?
Yeah, dude. We're reviewing Lost Records. It's a big episode.
All right.
Yeah.
Because I was like, I put this together in 35 minutes.
Are we sure it's big?
Joe, it's called show business.
Oh, right. This is the biggest show.
This is the biggest show in the world.
You cannot miss this episode.
I don't know how you guys feel, but like it's only a week since we record, but it feels so much longer.
So much longer every
It's
time.
so strange. It's very weird. All right, what do we
Then
think?
don't even get me started on when we entered New York City. It wasn't even that long ago, and it feels like a freaking lifetime ago.
I know.
I've already gone through 3 illnesses since then.
I shared a picture on my camera roll. I was like, Jesus, this feels like a lifetime ago.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
There's 100 memes in front of this.
Light, are you thinking anything specific with this one?
Oh, I'm not watching the stream. Hold on.
No, you're fine.
All right, got it.
Low. I don't know why that keeps happening. Hold on. I don't know why my volume. Well, yeah, my volume is super low. What the hell? All right, let's raise it on here. Hello. How now, brown cow? We'll do one more. Okay. Ooh,
You sound good to me.
Okay. Yeah, Discord randomly changed my mic to my webcam this morning. So I hopped in a work call and I had this muted, so I thought I was quiet. And I have this little Lego motorcycle dude that I also fidget with on calls. And it's very squeaky. I don't know if the mic's picking it up.
Yes, I can hear it.
So I was doing that and I saw my little green bars on the Discord window like glowing. It's like, how is it picking me up? My mic's muted. And then that's when I found out what's on my webcam.
That is amazing.
It's like, thank God I didn't fart or burp or something, because that would have been awful.
Oh, God.
And that's exactly what happened. I was like, wait a second. Did I fart in the last 5 minutes?
They were like, this fucking client.
It wasn't a client. It was a team meeting. So, like... Oh. Cool.
You're always replaying through your head like, wait, shoot, what did I just do? Exactly. What did I just do?
Exactly. All right.
Oh my goodness. When I do like that, you're like, can you hear this noise? It reminded me, I think it's Dumb and Dumber. It's like, you want to hear the most annoying noise in the world?
I have zero ideas what this game is, by the way.
So it looks like there's a tree leading sideways way in the back and maybe some sort of crater or something. But yeah, I got no guesses. Like this is a weird perspective where it feels like this looks like it's inside this mountain. What's the game where you play as dwarves and you go mining? It's a co-op game.
Deep Rock Galactic?
Yeah. Okay, there you go.
I don't know if that's this art style, but it looks like a game where you're underground and it's like panning into the ground.
But I don't have a better guess, so let's go for it. No, not it. I like the guess though.
Yeah, that's a deep cut.
83. Okay. What's going on down here? Who is this? I don't know what perspective we're in. Like, is this first person? Is this like over the
these camera angles are funky.
Is this like a Brothers? Or like some sort of puzzle game? Also looks like there's some UI stuff up here, maybe.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I don't hate the Brothers guess.
All right, we'll put it in. I don't.
Again, I don't think the art style is the same, but
yeah. Nah, damn. PC.
Any desktop notification.
Okay.
God. All right. Ooh. Okay, original platform.
V Rising. I don't have a better guess, so let's go with it.
Let's go with V Rising.
That sounds great to me.
Hey, nice job.
Hey!
What even is that?
I don't know.
I don't
think
know.
it's on PlayStation now, I think.
Oh, it's the vampire game. It's like it's a roguelite, but it's also
It looks like
a
Vampire
base
WoW.
builder.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh my god. If only. All right, last one.
We'll do this one, and then I didn't realize they cracked into 1,000. We'll do number 1,000.
Okay, that's
and
fair.
Then after this,
I like that.
What are those?
Yeah, are these like toys?
That looks familiar. I'm not even kidding you. The symbols look familiar.
I definitely think this is super zoomed in.
Yeah.
What was the Life is Strange one where you're the brothers? Not Life is Strange. Life is Strange?
Is it Life is Strange 2? I like where your head's at.
I didn't play that. I have no idea why I'm pulling that one out randomly.
Yeah.
I remember the what was that free game? It was like Captain something.
That's what I'm thinking of. Captain.
Yeah.
America.
Captain.
Oh my god, I don't.
Captain.
The Awesome Adventures of Captain Spirit. Was
there
that
you
it?
go.
Yeah.
Ooh, no, but I like that guess a whole lot.
Oh, put in Sea of Thieves. It's looking like it. No. Original platform, Xbox Series. This looks so familiar, and I'm gonna hate myself. Is it? Do you think it's? Yeah, I was gonna say Tales of Kanzara, because those look.
I didn't play
Is
it.
it?
It does look like a platformer. I was gonna say a platformer.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Oh, Mr. Light coming on in here.
I don't remember this at all.
He popped his head in. Did you hear him?
Yeah, I heard him go, I got it, I think.
Why did I think this
Oh,
was
man.
a sword and this was like first person?
Yeah, no, I know. That's good. That's so good.
Oh, yeah, okay.
Yeah.
All right, let's
We would have gotten it at 5.
Yeah. All right, let's
let's
do number 1,000.
Yeah.
Big day in Guess the Game.
Big money, big money, big money.
They've also expanded. There's also so many other Guess the Games things.
Oh, really?
I don't know if they're... Yeah. Guess the audio, guess the book, guess the movie,
Ooh.
guess the house.
Guess the movie
logo.
could be cool.
Guess the angle.
Can we do guess
That
the
is an
angle once after this?
89.37 degrees.
Why?
Seems so cute.
Tell me why this isn't Skyrim. Because this looks like Skyrim
That's
to
what
me.
I thought too.
Can you scroll over to that building thing in the back?
Oh, shit. She's like, enhance.
It doesn't look like Skyrim, but
Okay.
I don't have another
Let's
guess,
skip.
so you can put it just to see. I mean, you might as well type it in, right?
Yeah,
We're gonna skip it
guess.
anyways. It doesn't
You know
hurt
what,
anything.
maybe for like.
'Cause if I'm
episode
wrong,
1000,
then-
maybe. No, damn.
Okay, definitely.
90.
90.
I was not expecting like
Huh.
industrial buildings.
Right? Scored a 90. Could it be Silent Hill?
I don't think so.
No? Well, it wouldn't score a 90?
What about fear or something like that?
I don't hate it.
I don't hate that. Yeah.
Fear.
Oh. Half-Life, right?
I didn't play Half-Life.
Me neither.
That does look Portal adjacent, so I mean maybe.
Yeah.
Oh,
let's
the
do
orange
Portal.
box
That could be.
where it had everything in it. What?
Okay, that's definitely Half-Life.
Half-Life.
I know
wasn't on
those weird-
PS3. It was in the orange box. What?
Oh, okay, see that's kind of fucked up. I'm gonna say it's episode 2, Half-Life 2, episode 2.
Okay.
Oh my god. Are you kidding me?
Okay.
How
We're
do you
splitting
separate
hairs.
those out?
Okay.
What?
Honestly, guess the game for your number 1,000. You really wanted to be an asshole.
Tell me
I
why
don't
Dan
appreciate
texted
that.
me Half-Life 2 right before we typed it in. How does he
Well,
know? Dan, how
that's
do you
crazy.
know that? You didn't play Half-Life.
All right, we'll do one movie. Let's guess the movie.
Oh God.
Okay.
What do we got here?
This is the one with Tom Hanks where they're going down the rabbit hole and finding the secret cult thing.
Secret
Angels and
cult.
Demons, the first
Or
one.
the Dark
Da Vinci
World.
Code?
Yeah.
What? Hold on. Do I have to put in the? Okay. Ooh,
Damn.
I really liked it.
I saw that. I had it.
really liked it. I'm gonna try to zoom in because it is very tiny.
Thor: The
Very
Dark
little.
World.
No. For real?
It could have been.
Critics at 47%, so they
Damn.
hated this thing.
Yeah. Again, it's a Marvel movie.
There's no way this is a Marvel movie.
Look at that. I remember that fight.
There's
I remember that.
is now you've
Mexico?
got Marvel on the brain. What if this is the Hulk with Edward Norton?
I mean, that
You
would
know
make
what?
a lot of sense.
I don't think it is.
The death of the
Where's
Incredible Hulk.
my super suit?
Speaking of Incredible Hulk,
No, damn.
definitely watch that Captain America movie.
Don't say anything. I haven't seen it yet.
Okay. It's not good.
I don't care what you say.
All right.
So Wani says Ultron 1.
Ultron, Age of Ultron.
I wouldn't consider Ultron a thriller and a drama.
Dramedy.
I'm gonna skip because I'm getting nothing from this one. All right,
Guys, I've seen no movies.
We're in 2004. We're in 2004.
If it wasn't the same 20 I watched on repeat, I'm out.
Let's skip it one more. All right, who are these? Who are these lads?
Law enforcement. Some form of
Denzel.
Oh,
militia.
Man on Fire. Man on Fire. Just type in Man on Fire.
See, Joe, haven't even heard of that.
Bro.
Damn, nice.
Damn,
I
Joe.
remember that. I remember that.
All right, I lied.
Fucking awesome.
I want to know what guest angles.
What is the angle?
Kyle, I have to go to bed at 11
No!
like an old man.
Oh, we literally have to
Oh my
guess.
god, it really is.
Hey, it's an acute angle.
All right, so it's
Is it
under
cute,
90
right?
degrees.
Guys, I was joking when I said 80 something point whatever, but I'm pretty sure that could be accurate.
80 something.
Or is the red arrow past, like it's almost a circle? Like, is that what we're doing?
Oh shit. Oh yeah, because look at the. Well, no.
All right, let's just
Maybe-
say 67. Let's just see. I don't know what that means. Oh, up.
81.
Up.
81.
81.
Okay, it's definitely the full circle thing.
78.
No.
No, it's got to be over 90.
Because it's almost a circle, Joe.
Guys,
so-
I failed every single math class I was in. You can't do this to me.
Honestly, this is pissing me
295.
off.
All right, lower. Our last guess, 282. Oh, 290. Damn.
No. We win.
Fuck it. I just it brought me back to geometry, and now I'm real triggered.
You want to guess the price of the house?
No, I want to start this show, Kyle Stevens. Crazy son of a gun.
Wait, no, but that's actually really fun.
That was
All right.
actually.
You know what? Maybe we'll do all of them in our next pre-show.
Our patron exclusive episode is just those other ones.
Honestly,
It's Malibu. The house is in Malibu.
Chat, you're seeing the doc for a second. So
Yeah. Break
Surprise.
in the illusion.
A peek behind the curtain. Oh, Jonathan teaching me math now. The disc shows that it's a larger angle. Thanks, Jonathan.
thank you, Jonathan. Thank you. I was a
Well, next time
substitute
make the
teacher
circle
in
bigger.
elementary school, so like kindergarten through 4th grade.
Yeah.
Colors
Listen,
are my strong suit.
I had to teach math for a little while, which I mean, 7th grade special education. But let me tell you, when you yourself don't understand math, teaching math to others, I was real good at it because
Oh.
I had to really learn it.
Yeah.
Be like, listen, kids, you are lost.
I would have to
This
go
is
to
a
the
life
teacher
lesson.
and have her check my sheet before I would go to the kids and help the kids, because I'd be like, girl, I don't know. No, you gotta help me out here.
All right, y'all. Are we ready to start this show?
I am.
All right,
Chat, we will see you in 16 seconds.
Oh, wait, no longer greatness has arrived. Welcome to episode 417 of The Trophy Room, a PlayStation podcast made by the players for the players. I'm your host, Joseph, aka Mr. Badbit, and it is here where we talk about the latest, the greatest in all things PlayStation each and every week. And speaking of this week, we talk about the Lost
You got this.
I wanted to do the whole title, not the whole thing. This week, we talk about Lost Records, Bloom and Rage, Tape 1 review. Thank you. No PlayStation Summer Showcase, ? And the other shoe drops with some tea and so much more, as we do each and every week over on youtube.com/PS Trophy Room and audio services the very next day. Alongside me, the greatest co-host, whoever will be, Mr. Kyle Stevenson. How are you, sir?
I'm doing okay.
Yeah?
Yeah. It's the week before Next Fest, so be kind to your gaming PR friends. It sucks. You're fighting with thousands of other games for recognition amongst influencers and media. It's a lot.
It's a lot. Yeah.
Yeah. Jesus
well, how are you
Christ.
keeping sane, though?
How am I keeping sane? Apparently listening to whatever's going on upstairs.
Oh, dang.
Yeah, I'm happy that I had Lost Records to play. That kind of got me out of my gaming funk. But I've been really into watching movies a lot, like getting back into that other love of my life.
Fair.
I think I've watched maybe 9 movies since we last recorded.
Oh, dang. Nice. Which one's been your highlight?
7. I watched 7 for the first time.
Oh,
everyone keeps telling me I need to see that, so no spoilers, but I've heard it's great.
I knew it's weird to say the twist, but like the iconic line of like what's in the box. I knew what was in the box before I watched it.
Oh,
it's not in a box.
But yeah, that was great. I rewatched one of my favorite movies of all time, 12 Angry Men, the old one. That one's great. I watched the last Mission Impossible movie last night for the first time.
Nice.
That was fun. Mm-hmm. Don't love that they killed Rebecca Ferguson because she's my favorite.
They did?
Yeah.
How many impossible missions can one have?
Yeah.
I haven't seen any of them, but I feel like there are many missions
8
that are supposed to be impossible, and somehow they are not.
I would say at least 8, but let me see.
We'll see, give or take. There was a show as well.
At what point do you change it to Mission Probable?
Yeah.
Because clearly you could figure it out.
So there's been 7, and there's the 8th one this year.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, which I think might be the final one. I don't know.
Yeah, then they make a lot of money and it won't be the final one anymore.
Yeah. I know there's one with Paula Patton, and I remember there was like this quote of like he was upset that she was like taller than him or something like that. That she was his love interest and she was taller than him. I'm like, all right, dude. Relax, short king, embrace it, you know?
In the one I watched last night, Dead Reckoning, Palm from Guardians of the Galaxy, Mantis is in it.
Yes.
She's badass. So that was cool.
Oh yeah. Well, alongside us, the third chair, the lightweight herself, Tegan. What type of cold are you rocking with this week?
Dude, I don't even know. On the pre-show we play Guess the Game. I'm pretty sure we need to change it to Guess the Illness because every week it's something new and I can't catch a freaking break and I am over it. I'm over it. I'm dying.
That's fair. Listen.
Not to be melodramatic, but I have not been healthy since before Christmas. And you can only take so much. You can only take so much.
I was talking to one of my coworkers that also went through the gauntlet that you've been going through with their kid going into preschool or whatnot. And I go like, so when should she start feeling good? And she just replies, you never really start feeling good until they're like 6 or 7. I'm like, damn.
Tell me that. One of our friends had said it took their family 6 months to stop doing a revolving door, and I was like, I'm not gonna make it. I will not make it. It's too much. I'm just like, can it get warm outside? Because we're dying here. We're dying here. What? Also, I've been living on cough drops. I have this bag of 80 that I got 2 days ago, and I'm pretty sure it's almost gone. I didn't realize there's like, you're not supposed to use that many of these.
What?
It says on here. It says, 1 drop slowly in the mouth. Repeat every 2 hours as needed. I'm like, that sucker's gone. I'm popping a new one.
Yeah.
Is that medically necessary, or is that just to cover their butts? Because let me tell you, I might be in some dire straits going forward. If that's the case, I might be ODing on cough drops. I don't know if that's possible.
You're kind of like glow in the dark right now a little bit. Like you're behind a green screen.
If I randomly have a heart attack, it's the halls. Call the doctor, tell them it was the halls.
Whenever I'm sick, I go through them like crazy too.
I'm like, all it is menthol. It can't be that bad. But who knows?
When we see you in Boston for PAX, I'm gonna have a bubble ready for you and Dan.
Yeah.
I was texting Kyle the other day, and I was like, I swear to God, I need to be put in a bubble. I will walk in like a hamster ball to pick my daughter up from school because I'm over this. I'm over it.
You got your own PPE just greeting her. Like your Marty McFly when you crash into the barn, you know?
Give me the yellow suits from Monsters, Inc. Got a 2319 over here. I'm like, and my poor daughter too. She's going through it. Yeah. I have the chest version, which I'm grateful I have it. She's got the head cold, but it's awful because you can't give a 3-year-old anything. All we can do is this nasal rinse. And let me tell you, I'm surprised the neighbors haven't called the cops because I'm pretty sure she thinks we're waterboarding her. It is like we are torturing the poor girl. She now has panic attacks before bed every night. And I was like, oh my God, I can't.
Yeah. Owen does the same thing.
You bring out the neti pot. She's like, I'm not telling you guys anything.
No, she literally, when we do potty before bed, she has a panic attack and she's like, no, medicine, no. And I was like, fine. I'll just be up all night with you while you're hacking up along. It's fine.
That's with any sort of medicine that is liquid form for him when he's sick. Because like he's been given steroids a whole lot and those taste terribly, even as adults. And so now they are going the good old suppository route because he doesn't have to taste it.
Luckily, baby light.
Like he's fine with it, I guess, because he can't taste it. But it's just like, come on, dude.
Then toddlers have they don't care about that sort of thing. They don't care. But luckily, she likes the liquid stuff. So I'm like, I've been giving her Tylenol. Not that it's doing anything, but at least it makes me feel better. So I'm like, okay, it's the yummy medicine. You don't have to do the nose medicine because we call the saline rinse nose medicine. Yep. I was like, it's the yummy medicine. It's the yummy medicine.
It's like, no, Mom, too sick shit.
It's awful.
Listen, I've been going through it. My own personal dilemma, strife, and I need to break the news here. Someone has hacked into my Fortnite account.
Oh, I saw this.
No.
I have spent thousands of dollars in Fortnite. I don't have any shame. I just bought the Cyberpunk, cosmetics. All of them. I have no shame. I'll spend 20, 30. I don't care. It got hacked literally last week. And I'm kind of feeling a little like I reached out to Epic. Their email is incredibly hard to get. And I talked to their support about how do I get my account back? I've had this email exchange from them. They've exchanged 4 or 5 emails. They're nice and all. But every paragraph, there's at least 2 or 3 spelling mistakes and grammar errors. And I'm like, I get it. You guys are going through a lot of, angry emails, I assume. But I don't have a lot of confidence I'm getting it back because the replies are literally just a paragraph long. And they're spelling is and it wrong.
Are they American based or?
I don't know.
Because like YouTube, for example, when I reach out to YouTube support, it's always like I always get somebody from India, and their English is very good, but also like you do run into like a slight language barrier there that you can sometimes see in the spelling.
And that's probably the case. But honest to goodness, their reply to me, I did not have faith in. They're like, "Yeah, well, you should know in the next 3 days of the outcome of it." I'm like, "I'm me. I just gave you all the stuff. Can't you just see that like this person is like? Can't you see the person's IP address and them being in like I don't know Great Britain or somewhere? I'm here in Jersey. Can't you just like solve it by going, oh, you know, this guy changed the email and then dropped all his connected accounts in the span of 5 minutes. Maybe he's not the guy, and maybe this guy is. You know what I mean?"
Yeah, that's so
I had to
frustrating.
go through that
That's
with
so much
PayPal
money too.
once, where some lady tried to take over my PayPal.
Oh my God.
Yeah, it was, and it was like a different email, a different name on it, and everything. And I had to call them, and they obviously they have to make you prove that it's you.
Mm-hmm.
Like, just look at the transaction history.
Yeah.
Can't you tell when things have been updated on your end?
Can't you see where I'm logging in?
Yeah.
Like,
it was very strange. It was a whole thing.
come on.
Yeah, Epic.
And like,
Epic is based in like North Carolina, like right out.
Yeah.
Literally, I don't know, 20, 30 minutes away from Mike.
Yeah, they're right across the street from Insomniac.
Yeah.
So like, I don't know. I hope I get it back, but I'm at this point, guys. And Kyle, you know me better than most.
Mm-hmm.
So I want to know where in the BS meter
if
is.
you're gonna ask me if it's worth it getting your Fortnite stuff back, I'm gonna say you're good now. Leave it behind.
No. If
you don't need that.
If they say, "Oh, we're sorry, we can't help you,"
Mm-hmm.
I think I'm good. I think I'm good with dropping Fortnite forever.
Oh.
Now Luke says I'm full of crap that I'm gonna go back.
You will.
You think I will?
1,000,000% you will.
You think 10 out of 10 chance I go back to Fortnite after losing it all?
Yes. So much
Really?
in fact that if you would lose it again, you would still go back.
The FOMO would hit. The FOMO would hit.
Yes.
I'm kind of, maybe it's the Marvel rival in me.
I heard
feel
that's
like I'm
not in a
good.
good place now either.
Well, we'll talk about it in a minute. Like, I feel like I'm good. I feel like I don't need it anymore.
Joe, I love you.
No, because what's gonna?
You'll be back within, I would say, a week. They would drop a new skin, and you're like, okay, I'm back.
It's like me with WoW. I drop it because I'm like, I'm not playing it. I'm not gonna keep paying this monthly subscription, and I'll go a year, sometimes 2, and then all of a sudden that little itch starts, and you can't ignore it anymore, and it just builds, and you're like, God damn it, I need to play WoW again, and then you download WoW, and you pay for it for another 2 years, and you play it 2 times, so it's such a waste of money.
You're like the Hobbit meme of like, why shouldn't I start a rogue?
After all.
Not to put you on blast right here and right now, Joe.
Okay.
But on the show, when things were going down with Activision, specifically Call of Duty,
you're right.
we talked about not getting the next Call of Duty. And what did you do?
True.
You got the Call of Duty, and you've never looked back.
Put me on blast.
So I'm just saying, if Fortnite would be like,
if I could,
Grogu's blue, you would be like, yes, I'm in.
Shit, guys, I'm gonna go. I just been canceled, I think.
Just wait till they add one of your wives, like Dua Lipa gets added, and you're in.
You're right.
1,000%.
They put they put Gaga in.
Oh, I know.
When I tell you I remote played to get her.
See what
that
I
does
mean?
not surprise me.
It's anything for my queen. Anything for Mama Monster. I shall do. All right, gang. Before I get canceled again, it's time for the Patreon pitch. Of course, the reason why we look so good, sound so great is because of your generosity over at patreon.com/PS Trophy Room. Now, we are planning to go to PAX East. We are planning to go to Summer Game Fest, and we could really, really use your help getting there. So please, if we ever got you through a long car ride, a tough day at work, whatever your situation may be, it really does help us out, especially going to these places and making content for y'all and getting interviews and all that jazz. Head on over to patreon.com/PS Trophy Room, I want to thank our newest members, Todd Oxher re-upping at the bronze tier, Michael Hassett at the gold tier, and Big G at the bronze tier. He also re-upped. I want to thank our premium members, Todd Burowitz and Toxic. Our platinum members, JC, Jedi Master Ren, Cowboy Danger D, Jonas Young, The Green Gorilla Gamer, Chaotic Monkey, Rico Killed 90, Stephen Flesh, Strubles and Bits, Aaron, Bertos Maximos, Tommy, Chris, Hybrid748, Matt Valdez, Silk Hannett, Decimine, Mike Mitchell Gramling, Mike Thomas, and the Enchanted Goat. Gold members, I nailed it. Gold members, Cypher Primus, Doth, Simon the Pie Man, Jesse Garcia, JB the Purple Monkey, Hayden Doyce, Katie, Kevin Mitchell, Kevin Diaz, Marcus O'Neill, Red Arrow, Aegis Hermit, Androsaur, Astronaut Jr., The Winter Gamer, Stingray X, Robbie Bobby Miller himself, Brenton Zachary, Sean McKenzie, Rick Arrington, Solo, Matthew King, Duh Overlord, Durane Raksha, Drellish, Final Fan XZ, Hambone, JD Dillinger, Stone Cold, Tino Six Speed, N. Johnson, Rick Davis, Steph Midler, Samuel Nestling, Maximum Carnage, Jazz and Bren, and the Lord Commander Suddy. Thank you all so much for keeping the show running, for keeping these lights on. We really couldn't do it without you.
And shout out to our YouTube members, Strubles and Bits and Tommy, and Nisa. I will still shout you out because you're getting paid tonight. So you said you're going to rejoin afterwards. And even if you don't, thank you for everything.
Yeah. That said, y'all, it is time to square up the news.
First bit of news that needs to be squared up comes to us from Andy Robinson over at VGC. Andy writes, Sony reportedly might not hold a full PS5 summer showcase this year. According to Giant Bomb journalist Jeff Grubb, Sony Interactive Entertainment is currently debating internally between the two models, the latter of which typically focuses more on third-party games and smaller announcements. Quote, they could still have some fun announcements, and they could still start bolstering expectations for 2026, Grubb said, of Sony's marketing plans for the rest of the year. Internally, it sounds like they're debating and flopping between maybe making something this summer a full showcase versus another state of play. But they are considering a showcase. And if they have a showcase, that means they'll have a lot of stuff to talk about. And at that point, you would definitely expect to see Wolverine and a lot of other games that could come out next year, end quote. PlayStation's last quote showcase, quote unquote, event was in 2023 when it announced multiple games for PS5 and PSVR 2, including Metal Gear Solid Delta, an extensive look at Spider-Man 2, Dragon's Dogma 2, and more. It's been a significant week for Sony as the company also published its latest financial results, which included news that PS5 enjoyed its best ever holiday period in 2024 and has now cleared 75 million units shipped. Launch-aligned PlayStation 5 is now just 1.5 million units behind PlayStation 4 during the same period of its life cycle, 76.5 million units.
Ooh-wee, when I heard this news, I got a little sad. When I first heard this news, my anxiety kicked in. I was like, wait, they're not doing anything this year? What do you mean? But when we hear that they're dancing around the idea of a showcase versus another one of these state of plays, it's still a bummer. But also bear in mind this last state of play that everybody hated online. Over 2 million concurrent viewers of that state of play, the most popular state of play ever. And I think maybe that's partially to do because so many people's expectations were in check. So weren't in check. Kyle Stevenson, I want to go with you first on this. First, where are you a week after the latest, state of play? Yeah, where we all kind of gave it like a resounding, it was okay.
Yeah, I rewatched it multiple times, as I do. Everyone here that listens knows that I watch live reacts of the show immediately afterwards. So that's my whole night. I'm a little higher on it than I was last week.
Oh, okay.
Usually I go down a little
fanboy
bit.
Over here.
Yeah, that's me. Hey,
that's right.
Some of the games that I was lukewarm to during the the live react, seeing it on my TV, and it being a little bit more bombastic in how I was watching it. Specifically, that Tides of Annihilation.
Yeah.
Yep.
I'm way higher on that one, seeing it like in motion on my TV. Yeah, I think it was a solid show. Like, I understand people wanting to know some of the big heavy hitters that makes PlayStation.
Yep.
But like, that's not the world we live in right now when it comes to them. With so much uncertainty with some of the games, which we'll get to very soon here.
Yeah.
All the turnover with upper management and all the live service things that are no longer in development. Like, it's a weird time in PlayStation, and hearing like that the last showcase was 2 years ago in 2023 is wild. So yes, I'm hoping we get a showcase, because I desperately want to learn more about Wolverine and Death Stranding 2 and Ghosts and all the fun things, but they just keep doing state of plays and they're not ready. I don't want them to force it either.
Right, because I think the one thing that I understand the PlayStation fan out there, if you're like us, we're like, listen, I like the box, I love these controllers, whatever, but I'm here for Santa Monica, I'm here for Naughty Dog, I'm here for the studios that make up the PlayStation publishing umbrella, right? Like, I understand your fury, and I'm not here to argue against it. Like, no, you shouldn't have expected this, you shouldn't have expected that, because at this point, you're right, it has been 4 years since we've seen Wolverine. Right? We still have no idea what Corey's game is. And when you take a look at
4 years since Wolverine.
4 years. Kyle Stevenson. 2021 it was shown.
Whoa.
Yeah, so it's like we still don't know so much of the PlayStation lineup. And then like when you hear that Fair Games, which isn't all right, let's just cut the shit for a second. A game that no one's excited for is even pushed back to 2026. You have to then wonder, all right, or you have the right to feel that frustration of like, dude, I got this box and the PlayStation just does not feel exciting. Whether the numbers are, they're hitting the all-time high or whatnot, it just doesn't feel fun right now. It feels very sterile and samey. I understand those complaints of like wanting to see the PlayStation first party. But on a whole, like this state of play for me was like, hey, let's focus on the next 6 months and what you can expect in, literally February, March, April, and holy shit, there's so many games happening in May. And it's like, and then even some, of course, Sorrow's far out, but like for the most part, those games come in first half or second half of the year. It's like, yeah, it's it's no longer about selling people on PlayStation. People are already in. It's about how do we get more money from our consumers? It's, hey, how about we show a very different selection of games, right, for our audience. So to me, I think the convincing people to get a PlayStation, I think they're just doing that already at this very point in time with the games that they currently have and the games that they're currently offering. I think, one of the numbers out there was like, there was a wild percentage. I want to get the number, but like there was a couple million new people that have never played PlayStation before buying, a PlayStation 5 last quarter. So it's like, there's something that we're obviously missing that the casual market isn't. And I would want to know what that is. Like, I want to go to you. Where are your thoughts? A week removed, are you still sitting at that 7? Have you grown a little bit higher like Kyle, or I haven't even thought about it. I've been sick.
I think, well, probably that, but I think I'm still at the same score. I will say I do agree with Kyle though, in that when I rewatched some of the trailers, specifically that same one that Kyle was talking about, because the developer was posting about it a lot on Twitter, I feel a lot more favorably on it now because it does seem more unique than I originally gave it credit for. But that being said, it wasn't a me show, right? And I try to keep that in mind when I'm rating because I do understand, like, I'm not a huge variety gamer. I like the games that I game. I like the games that I game. I like the games that I play. But I'm not, I'm not a huge into like that action style game. And it was very action style game heavy. And that's not necessarily my cup of tea. So it's hard for me not to be like, oh my God, that showcase was so boring because a lot of it was like, yeah, that's fine, but it's not for me. Yeah. But I do still stand at my score because I do think that they had a lot of stuff for a lot of different people. I just wasn't necessarily one of those people for a lot of them. But there were still games that I was excited for and interested in. So I think a 7 is fair for me. I also do see people's criticism of that. Like, it felt like it was mostly or completely third party for the most part. So it was like, why are you showcasing all of these and not showcasing more of what's yours? Because I feel like a lot of people for PlayStation, their whole thing is the exclusives. PlayStation is known for their exclusives. And the problem is when you're known for your exclusives, if you don't show the exclusives, then people are kind of disappointed.
Yeah.
I also think there's kind of mixed, for me at least, and I am totally okay with people correcting me on this and change my mind on this. So please feel free. Maybe I shouldn't open myself up to those comments, but I do think there is sort of a miscommunication or marketing miscommunication somewhere along the lines of what can we expect from a showcase versus a state of play. Yes. And that makes it really hard for people not to get their expectations high because there have been showcases that are just mega banger after mega banger. And then you have the next showcase, which is a bunch of third-party games that a lot of people don't necessarily care about. And it's easy to see why people are like, that was awful. Because the last one we had A, B, C, and D. This one we have X, Y, and Z. We don't want X, Y, and Z after we had A, B, C, and D. So if you kept it like one big announcement and a bunch of smaller things, or I don't know, just some consistency.
Yeah.
So if you're going to have a Wolverine, a this, a that, a this, I think maybe don't do it in a showcase. Don't do all that in a showcase because then the next showcase, people are going to be like, that sucked because they didn't get all those major games. So I understand, like, okay, we don't have enough content for a state of play. Then maybe spread it out a little bit. Maybe only have Wolverine in one. Maybe only have Death Stranding in one. Maybe only have I don't know. I don't know what the answer is, but they need to find some sort of consistency or you're going to constantly be getting people who are like, this was awful because it didn't reach the heights that the previous one did. That's nobody's fault, but somewhere it's got to be figured out,
I think to your point, Light, is when you think about the last 2 state of plays, you can kind of see a pattern of it being third-party focused and then ending on a PlayStation Studios game.
Yeah,
right? Like the one previous was the whole show, and then they surprised us with Ghost of Yotai.
Yes.
This one with the whole show with third-party stuff surprised us with Housemarque's next game, Sorrows.
So like, that's a great point.
If that is their format going forward, then that is just something we have to live with, and until PlayStation Studios can catch up with all the turnover and weird stuff going on with their projects, that's just kind of how we as fans of PlayStation just kind of have to live with, I think.
Yeah.
And I'm okay with that if that's how they keep it consistent, Going forward, keep doing that.
I think, you're both dead on here because you even go, okay, well, what was the state of play, before Yote? It's like, all right, Astrobot, God bless. But then we also, it's like Concord and then a whole bunch of like other stuff that we already forgot about. The February state of play before that, it was Death Stranding. It was Final Fantasy 7 Rebirth. And then it was Fizzin at the end, right? Kojima's mystery espionage game that he's going to be working with. And they're doing like zoom outs with the camera and all that type of stuff. So the expectations for these showcases and or just the state of plays is it's all over the place. And you don't know if you're going to, the only way to gauge the expectation of these things is whether it's a solo show, like the Borderlands one we're going to be getting sometime in the spring, versus just a regular state of play. It's like that. I think if you're going to just do state of play, you need to do, I think Nintendo and I think Xbox to an extent does really well, which is like Nintendo, they're like, hey, listen, we have one where it's just indies and it's the what is it, the Nindy World Direct or
Indie
whatever,
Spotlights.
right? Yeah, indie spotlights. Then you have, their Nintendo Directs, but even then, they're very cautious of like, hey guys, this is what you can expect at this Nintendo Direct. This is what you're gonna. Here's where your excitement level should be. And PlayStation did not do that this time around. Xbox has, the ID at Xbox. Please change the name. And
which is next week, by the way. There's another one on Monday.
And then you have their developer directs. Then you have their showcase. They need to do a better job at gauging expectations, even if it comes down to, hey, here's a disclaimer at the paragraph of this announcement, or here's a different show. This is the PlayStation Indie State of Play, or whatever. That so that expectations aren't through the roof. People genuinely know if where they could gauge their excitement. Now, I get where that can hurt you because you can maybe lose viewers by going, I don't want to see indie stuff, but you're not going to have the mass disappointment, which I saw, online, which I think someone, I don't want to out them, but there's someone on the PR side that on Blue Sky that said perfectly. They're like, there's just no pleasing you guys.
Yeah, no, seriously, that is true.
Yeah, it was kind of a reaction of like, when your kid's having a fit at Disney World. It's like, dude, we're at Disney World, okay? You just met Minnie, and you're crying because you couldn't have the lollipop. God,
1,000,000%. Because we still saw games that are new that we're going to play, and just because it wasn't as
Bloodborne.
Yeah, or
that
like
a
more of a diverse selection of games, people are bummed about it. But like to both of your points of like them trying to set expectations, and this is a huge issue I have with PlayStation specifically, is the PS blog is not it. You can't bury that stuff in the blog because we're in an age where people get their updates and news about things from social media. So if you just say, hey, State of Play was returning tomorrow with a link to the PS blog post, people are not clicking on that link. They're just seeing that like, okay, cool, there's a show tomorrow. And I was trying to find it, and the PS blog said around 40 plus minutes for a unique selection of exciting games from studios around the world. That doesn't say third-party games. That just says studios around the world, so that they set themselves up for some sort of disappointment that we're getting more than just third-party stuff.
Yeah. And also, I think, unfortunately, no matter what they showed, because they weren't going to show Bloodborne, people were going to be disappointed because it was right around the anniversary, like all that stuff. And you had all those takedowns and all that stuff. Like there was, again, not PlayStation's fault, but the internet is going to internet and everyone got it, hyped up. I almost feel like it might have been good for Sony to be like, listen, we hear you. There's no Bloodborne at this. Because I do think a lot of people went into it being like, we might get Bloodborne. We might get Blood, and then no matter what the show was, no matter what the show was, they weren't going to be happy with it.
Yeah. And so with that, I'm with you, Kyle, where it's like, first off, I think it's time we pop open the trunk and we see what's happening with first party. When someone was like, it's been 4 years since we've seen Wolverine, I'm like, shit, that's right.
Yeah,
we're running out of excuses. Like we do need to see more than just one of these games, right? Though I do think that probably might be the format for the next year or two. It's like, it is time. We need to, like, there's too many questions here. Question marks here. We do need to see something. Like, I want to go to you. Would you be disappointed if, the next PlayStation thing is a PlayStation State of Play? Or are you perfectly content if it's like State of Play, fine, because there's still games that I could probably play on my PC or on my Steam Deck? I want to know where you're at there.
I'm fine with whatever, honestly. Like, I just, and I think I've talked about this with PlayStation before. I just would prefer, I guess, slightly better communication. Like maybe I know not all the shows, but a lot of times one thing that Xbox does well is they'll post on social media a picture with like the 4 games that they're going to be showcasing. Like if it's a developer direct, like, okay, you're going to see Doom, you're going to see South of Midnight, you're going to see this, you're going to see that. And occasionally there will be a surprise one more look. But for the most part, you see that, you know what you're going to get. And then if people are disappointed, it's like, well, you did that to yourself because we told you what you're going to see.
Yep.
I know with the state of play, there's a lot more going on, so you can't necessarily do that. But it might not hurt to find something to be like, hey, you're not going to want to miss the show. Or like, or who was it that recently was like, keep your expectations in check for this one? I don't, what show was that for? I forget.
I think it was the Nintendo one. They're like, hey, listen, whatever we're doing here, it's not for the Nintendo Switch 2. That's something.
But
that's later.
Jeff has
So
also done that with like SGF before.
Yes.
Where he's like,
I think
hey,
that might be what I'm thinking of.
It's not going to be crazy.
Yeah. So, I mean, I don't know what the answer is. I think it's just with today's day and age, you need to keep in mind that the internet is going to go crazy and to try to communicate somewhat.
Mm-hmm.
Whatever communication method that is, however you want that to look, whether it's consistency, you know that the show's going to be this format, or whether it's a brief little infographic of like, here's 3 big things you're going to see, or if it's a tweet like, don't get too excited or something like that. I don't know. But I do think part of the problem is you get one little person on the internet who's like, oh, this could be happening. And then all of a sudden it's that little idea turned into a fact. And then everybody's gone crazy.
Because I think the coolest thing about this showcase, and you're seeing it with Xbox and you're seeing it with PC. First off, when you take a look at all these shows and showcases, whatever we're calling them, big events, 98% of those games are going to be played somewhere else, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like, the future PC game show, Valheim, you could play on Xbox. Pal World, you could play on PlayStation. You'll never play it on Nintendo. But when it comes to like Nintendo, when they announced the Switch 2, God knows they're going to come out with games we played 4 years ago, but we're going to be cheering when we see Alan Wake 2 there, right? Because it's amazing. And like same with PlayStation, like, yeah, of course, Stellar Blade's going to come out on PC, and it's really cool, this state of play. There's actually a lot of like mention of PC as well. So it's like, I think we have to get out of our own spheres a bit and go, you know what? Maybe this is beyond just my wants and what I think I need, rather than, hey, who are they speaking to, the broad audience? Because I think the coolest thing out of all these shows is like, dude, they showed you development from China, right? From Chinese developers. They're showing you developers from India. They're showing you developers from South Korea. They're showing you developers from literally all over the world, rather than just Japan, North America, and the western part of Europe. And I think that's really awesome, and something that I didn't see anybody talk about. It's like how gaming is expanding past the regions that we only think about in games. It's like, dude, it's awesome to see, what is a Korean take on a Soulsborne game? What's a Korean take on, an action game? What's a Chinese take on Final Fantasy 16? Like, all those things are interesting, deserve to be spotlight, and are being spotlighted. And I think, to me, what you said, like, it is the only hang up, whereas like it was too much of the same game, where it's like, hey guys, we got a chick with a Sauron arm and she's got a sword. Come watch this trailer. And then they're like, hey guys, we got a dude. He's wearing a duster. Guess what he has? He's wielding a sword. Come check out this game. And then they're like, hey, gang, I heard you like samurais. It's not the one that you think. Don't get too excited. Dude with a sword, but he's also going to throw a table. And it's like, come on.
And he's got an eyeball in his hand.
Exactly. Well, don't question the eyeball. It's an aesthetic choice. Anyway, sword, come on. It's like, okay, maybe next time variety is the spice of life. But even then, it's like, for me, it's like, I like all this game. It's fun.
In PlayStation's defense, when Kyle read that blog, again, didn't even know the blog existed. So there's that. But, or that blog post existed. They did say, interesting and unique from around the world, and they did deliver that. But you read that and you think in your head, oh, Bloodborne's from around the world, maybe Bloodborne's so like there's still like Reese said in chat, like media literacy is a lost skill and people will put their own bias into it. So even if PlayStation does communicate, not necessarily in the greatest method, but they did communicate, and you're still gonna read that and be like, does that mean Bloodborne?
Yeah.
And also, because it was lost on us just because it wasn't on our radar, but that game, Lost Soul aside, didn't realize that thing was announced like 12 years ago. and like it's finally coming out. That is a huge deal for that developer, who is I believe a solo developer, or started this as a solo developer, and that game looks nuts. So like that's a huge deal for
and
a
South
lot
of Midnight
of people.
too.
Yeah.
Not South of Midnight. What was the what was the claymation one that we've been
Midnight
waiting
Walk.
to hear more? Yeah, Midnight Walk. We've been waiting to hear about that one too, and we did hear about that one.
Yeah, so there
and
was
again,
stuff there.
really unique.
Yeah.
So there was a lot of stuff there. It's just, you know.
Yep.
People are going to be unhappy no matter what you do.
That said, speak about people being unhappy. We got a couple of quotes from Shuhei Yoshida himself. There's been a lot of interviews. I think there's one on Kind of Funny, Min-Max, Sacred Symbols Plus, of him going out there doing the run of all the... So I just got a hodgepodge of quotes. I don't know if I got them all, but these are the ones that were the most interesting to me. Kyle Stevenson, yes, sir?
Just so I understand where we are in the run of show. Are we skipping the Fair Games thing?
Oh, because I mentioned it already.
That's fine.
Fair
It's
Games.
slipped in 2026, everybody. It's fine.
Yeah. So let's take this quote by quote, Kyle.
Sure.
Take it away with the first quote.
So this first quote comes from a VGC. Yoshida explained that while he enjoyed his time working with indie developers and will continue to do so now that he has actually left Sony, it was a role that was essentially forced on him, but one he took regardless because of his love for indie games. Quote, moving from first party to indies, well, I had no choice, Yoshida explained to VentureBeat. When Jim asked me to do the indie job, the choice was to do that or leave the company. But I felt very strongly about the state of PlayStation and indies. I really wanted to do this. I believed I could do something unique for that purpose. My personal goal when I started the indie job was to make my position obsolete, he explained. The company would be doing so well that there was no need for someone like me to tell everyone that this was important. I feel that we've achieved that pretty well.
Kyle Stevenson, you and I, we have a long history with Shuhei Yoshida. This man has been an icon. We've seen him on the E3 stage. When you hear Lion Jim Ryan, the dastardly dude that he was.
Yeah.
Rest in piss. Demoted my good friend, personal friend, who used to follow me on X. We're not going to explain why he stopped. What was your take when you saw this quote? You're like, this Jim Ryan is a big piece of trash. Or were you like, I thought this would happen?
It makes me upset to treat such a legendary person within PlayStation and just video game history in general.
Sure.
With such like, it's this or you're gone kind of thing, like an ultimatum.
Yeah.
But it also makes me even more upset that Jim views indies as like a demotion. And like, we want to take you away from first party. We're going to put you on the indies because we don't know what we're doing here. And we need...
Well, that's the thing. He doesn't say demotion.
No,
I
but
think everybody's run with that.
Though. Sure. Okay, so I'll walk that back. Back.
Yeah.
But
you saw how you got me with Activision? You didn't think I'd sting it back?
Listen,
you son of a...
Bring it on, baby!
I voted for RFK.
Jesus oh my God, Joe.
Yeah, that's some great ideas.
How's that worm in your brain going?
I'm doing fine.
But like to what I was saying though, I think it's just like, who are you, Jim, to be like, Shu, you're doing this or you're gone. Also, I'm super happy that it was Shu heading indies because I love the second part of that quote of like, my goal was to make it obsolete, to show everyone that indies are way too important to view them as less than first parties titles. And there is such a huge wide world of indies that are important to keep gaming in a healthy state. And we will be better as a company to embrace that and go talk to these indie devs and get indies on PS Plus day one and continue to offer and promote just good games, regardless of money, size, pedigree, like just go out and find fun games. So I love the second part of what he was saying there.
Yeah. Like, I don't know your relationship towards Shu. But what did you make of this news? Were you surprised of like, hey, this exec's actually speaking pretty candid about his tenure and the situations that he's been in?
I love how open he's been and how open he is being, because I didn't really pay attention to gaming news until fairly recently, so I don't really have much to say about him specifically as a person. But all of these quotes that I'm hearing since he's been gone, he's spilling all the tea, and I am here for it. I love it. But I do love, same thing with Kyle, where he says, like, my goal is to make my position obsolete. I love that quote because we used to use that in special education all the time. Our job is to eliminate our job. We want to get all of these kids to the point where they don't need us anymore. That's the point of our job. We're trying to get, so I personally love that mentality. That was a mentality I lived by as a teacher. My goal is to get it so you don't need me anymore. And it shows that he, even though he didn't necessarily choose that role, he was still going to be passionate about that role, and he was going to try to get it to the best place it could possibly be. And I think that shows you everything about his character, because so many people could have been told, nope, you're going to go into that role or you can quit. And then they would have done it, but they wouldn't necessarily have put their best foot forward because it wasn't what they wanted to do. I'm frozen. Did you lose me?
No, I think my internet is being crappy. Hi, everybody. How are we? Hi, chat. Can you hear me, chat? Are we good? Oh, light left. Joe, can you hear me?
I'm here.
Hi.
Kyle? Hi.
Okay, they
Hello?
can hear me. We're back!
Yeah.
Well, you missed everything I said. It was really good. Sorry.
Yeah, it was great. It was fantastic.
It's all good. It's all good.
You both were just like, I saw how I was frozen, which is really funny, but you were both frozen like this. And I was like, wow, I must be saying some really good stuff over here.
Yeah.
Hard edit. We lost connection for a sec. You were on a roll though.
Yeah. Anyways, it shows how great of a person he is, and because he took it seriously, he wanted it to be successful. And I don't know if you could necessarily say the same thing if somebody else took over the role.
Yeah. I was surprised that this made news, because I think out of all the stuff he said, this was the least interesting. And I wanted to ask my friend Ains, because he works in the corporate sector, and he's just he's an old soul. And when I mean old soul, like, he knows how cutthroat businesses run, because he's been all the way back to whispering in Judas's ear to betray Jesus. That type of cutthroat that he is. He said that was his original like,
that was his plan.
Sin. Yeah, that was his plan.
Wow.
He workshopped it with Judas or whatever.
He did a mock betraying with him before.
Exactly.
Got it.
And he said something along the lines of like, actually, let me read it. He goes, "It's not surprising to me at all for a couple of reasons. First, yes, when a new CEO comes in, there will eventually or usually be a shuffle. I would say it's even more true when your operations are global versus national. A CEO isn't coming in and going, so what would you all like to do? LOL. They make decisions based on what they think is best. In this case, the second aspect is that Shu is known to have a great relationship with indie and smaller publishers. Why wouldn't you put him in charge of it? I think phrasing it as smaller titles is a bit disingenuous." And I think at the end of the day, when I see Shu's position and seeing the work that he's done with their indie initiative, it's like, yeah, no, he kind of has phased himself out in this new, for lack of better words, administration or CEO coming in, whatever the tidal wave is of change. He's like, yeah, you don't need me here anymore, and I'm going to see myself out. And I think if it was a good choice for Jim to do all the things that he did, we would be singing a different tune of like, you know what, Shu, you were right. These games are service games, which he even said he was struggling with. And that's why they brought in Herman and all that. And they still struggle with. That is the reason why he went to the indie division, but to make it his own, I think is awesome. And now to leave it in such great shape, that's usually what an exec does. They go, I have a mission. Here's my goal. I'm either going to make it or not. He made it in this regard. And then they usually see themselves off. So to me, I like these interviews a whole lot more than the Bobby Kotick one where he just comes off like a jealous lover, you know? He's like, well, I said this was a dumb idea to begin with. It's like, all right, dude, you're such a piece of shit. Yeah. That said, Kyle, let's talk about the second quote here. Not about a piece of garbage that is Bobby Kotick.
When asked about the closure of PlayStation's Japan studio and fan perception about PlayStation losing its Japanese influence, Yoshida claimed that it was the market that dictated Sony's shift in focus away from Japan studio IP. Quote, during my time, people give me credit, but one of the things I was not successful at was having a successful service game. And the other thing is I was not able to have amazingly successful games made in Japan, Yoshida explained. Other than Gran Turismo, we had many great products, but didn't really have many AAA-level successful products. That became more and more important as the big games became bigger. The indies filled the gap, and the AA market seems to have disappeared, end quote.
Damn. Truer words have not been said. I just think it's good for the audience to know, okay, this is probably, or this is the reason why Japan studios no more. I have really nothing more to add to it other than like...
It also just kind of supports what we've been saying for a little bit now of the people who are up in arms over the closure of that studio didn't even really play those games.
Yeah.
And they were just up in arms just to be up in arms kind of thing.
The internet.
Yeah, exactly.
Gotta love that.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Like, how many people truly played Puppeteer?
Right.
I played it.
Not many. I played it literally over... Marcus O'Neill literally pointed a gun to me. He said, play this game.
And that's like a really great game that was made by a Japanese developer over for Sony, and it was cool, but nobody played it. So like, it's
at what point can you just... Yeah. At what point it's like, okay, well, market dictates, and I hate to be that guy, but market dictates this wasn't feasible anymore.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right, Kyle Stevenson, I got a little crap for this one. Go, take it away.
Shuhei Yoshida played The Last of Us Online and thought it was great. Quote, the idea for The Last of Us Online came from Naughty Dog, but Bungie explained what it takes to make live service games, and Naughty Dog realized, oops, we can't do that. If we do it, we can't make Intergalactic, end quote.
All right. So she says, game was great, but 4 years in development, and then we suddenly realized... oh, this would change us.
Specifically, we can't make Intergalactic.
Yeah.
Which I think we can all agree after seeing that trailer, I think it's the right call. Because I'm way into Intergalactic.
But how do you not have the conversation of what it involves?
Uh-oh. They're frozen again. Hi, chat. How we doing? Are we doing well? I hope so. Joe's frozen face is fantastic. It really is great. Sonny, you didn't miss anything. We're doing okay. Dealing with bad internet, Oh, we're back!
Listen, New York has so many storms right now. We're lucky any of us are here.
Oh, you're right.
In my neck of the woods, there's a lot of snow happening.
Oh, shoot. Okay. Never mind. That said, mark 52 minutes for me there, Kyle.
I got it.
And 45. 45 and 52. Thank you.
It's like the lost codes.
Yeah.
From the show.
I love editing this because you're going to have like two incoherent points, but you were making the point. Like, I just want you to know. It may sound like people are like, she was making one point, now she's here. All right, continue. What was your original thought on Last of Us Online there, Light?
How is this not the first conversation you have? Naughty Dog says, hey, we want to make a live service game. Sony says, okay, here's what it's going to take. And then you go, oh, shoot, we can't make a live service game. And then Sony goes, oh, okay, well, what else do you want to do instead? And then Sony goes, whatever. They come back and we'll get back to you. How does it take you developing a game for 4 years, Bungie coming in and then saying, oh, by the way, this is what you have to do? How does it get to that point? That should have been point 1. Here's a checklist of what you need to be able to do if you're going to have a live service at the meeting of when they bring up, hey, we want to have a live service.
It's almost like this game started a lot smaller and then got bigger and bigger and bigger until they didn't know what size of game that they truly had, and they didn't understand what it would actually take to throw these resources in said game. And once it got to that point, and maybe they met a hurdle or two, they were like, oh, are we ready to waste our time here on this game and then change our DNA of what we're actually known for something that might be the first Naughty Dog miss? Or do we go back to our bread and butter like we were supposed to and understand our place in the whole grand scheme of things? I think that happened. So, Danny Diwali, shut your dang mouth coming to my DMs like that, okay? Yeah, because it doesn't make any sense. You're just telling me you were at this for 4 years and then suddenly you're like, oh, wait, this game's too big. It's going to change who we are. It's like you didn't know that when you literally were hiring hundreds of people. Like that, understand that train of logic doesn't make any sense, right? So to me, there's that quote is very weird. And also, though, at the end of the day, the best decision they probably have made.
Best decision. I'm happy they went with it, but I'm also glad for me, and I'm pretty sure I said the opposite of what she says here, so happy that I'm wrong. But the idea for it came from Naughty Dog. And I feel like during that time when we were getting all this live service stuff, we thought it was coming straight from Jim. So it's good to know that has been clear, that Naughty Dog is the one that decided to make it its own thing. So yeah, but I'm very happy we're getting Intergalactic because I'm very excited for that.
God, it looks so good. Can't wait to play that in 2030.
Yeah.
4 years from now.
Still before the next Elder Scrolls.
God,
let's hope Light doesn't have a cold in 2030.
Oh my God.
All right, Kyle Stevenson, this quote's just for me to giggle in glee.
I love how you're using my full name all episode long.
Kyle Stevenson.
Kyle Andrew Stevenson, now it's your turn.
Drooly Lane. New York.
Shu on PC releases, quote, releasing on PC does many things. It reaches a new audience who do not own consoles, especially in regions where consoles are not as popular. The idea is that those people may become fans of a particular franchise, and when a new game in that series comes out, they may be convinced to pursue or purchase a PlayStation. He continued, it also adds additional income because porting to PC is way cheaper than creating an original title. So it's almost like printing money, and that helps us to invest in new titles now that the cost of games has increased. And then later in the interview, Yoshida said that in some countries, the PC market is preferred to consoles, so it's almost impossible to find success without hitting the platform. Quote, China is a huge PC game market, he pointed out, and China is a growing but very small console market. In order to reach the audience in countries like China, then it's crucial to release on PC. So I believe PC versions really reach a new audience, end quote.
They're not going to stop making PC ports. If you're still banging on this drum, I'm worried about piracy. Oh, I'm worried about pirate. Oh, suddenly you're worried about pirates? They haven't been a thing since the 1700s. Don't give me that nonsense. Don't give me this weird, look at this one site that's torrented, Spider-Man. and it's literally Shazam. Like, or what's it? No, LimeWire link. Like, let's be real with each other. Let's stop with the cope, as the kids say. And the hard facts is PlayStation is going to keep making PC ports of their games. It's going to reach markets where they're not currently in, or they're not big in, or those markets have huge taxes on those games. Let's say China, or more importantly, Brazil, where a tariff on consoles is like, you're paying $1,000 for the standard PS5. So I think people that are in Deluluville need to find Soluluville. That's all I'm saying.
I do have to say, I have to be corrected on something because I went on record to say PC players are a unique little cult and they're not going to go to console. And Shu right here says we bring them to PC because then when the next IP comes out, we're hoping they'll come to console. So clearly, some PC players are buying consoles, and I was mistaken. You're not as much of a cult as I thought.
To be reading this in our minds, I feel like it's like a water's wet kind of conversation. Duh. And for anyone that is upset over what Shu says over this, how is anything he said a bad idea for you being a fan of PlayStation? He says it himself. Supporting games to PC is like printing money, which will then in turn put into the studios, hopefully, to continue making great games. Like, if we want more people to be fans of PlayStation and the IP that makes PlayStation, PC is a great way to do that. And it sounds like something we've been saying forever. So like
since 2019.
So chill out, weirdos on the internet.
That's grass.
I want to talk about video games. Let's get into some Flash news. Gotta run.
Okay, this will be part of Flash news.
Okay, fine.
Yeah, like you don't run. You're sick.
I'm gonna be very slow. I'll catch you later.
Hop on our
You're
back.
on the wagon.
We'll carry you. I want to bring this out in chat so it's on the show so everyone knows of this mission that Light is putting up. That Still can't put. Bethesda's doing an auction for charity. The highest bidder will get to make an NPC in Elder Scrolls 6. So let's do that for Light. Let's pool all our money together, so we can have Light in the game. But she's got to voice the NPC.
I must voice an NPC. I have said, I will say it everywhere, a million times. All I want is to be an NPC who's drunk in a bar or somewhere and have someone come in and make a comment about how I'm a lightweight. That's all I want. That's all I want. I don't need to be a big role. I could be the annoying guard that has the same line that you hear every single place you go. I don't care. Put me in your freaking game. Todd, we're besties now. Yes. Put me in your game.
Or even if it's just two NPCs talking about a lightweight and she's there and she's like passed out. You know what I mean? What do we gotta do?
Please.
Make this happen.
Someone pull strings. I don't know who needs to do it. Get me in this game.
And make me a stormtrooper while you're at it. A game, whatever, Star Wars. I don't know who I have to bribe. Get me in the volume, damn it. Get me in the Mando suit. I'll be fat little Mando.
Just name one of the bearded white dudes Kyle and I'll be fine. I'm sure there's a bearded white dude somewhere in that game.
Mandalorian, it's kind of like, what's the Danny DeVito Arnold Schwarzenegger movie?
Twins?
Twins. I'll be fat Mando, there's regular Mando. No one can tell us apart. It'd be nice. I wanted to put this in here for a few reasons. I want to shout out our good friends over at Xbox Era. They interviewed Phil Spencer. It was a fantastic interview that Paul Tassi didn't watch because he criticized it for being something it wasn't. In a wide-range interview on Xbox Era, this comes from Zarmina Khan, Phil Spencer said that Microsoft previously debated displaying the PlayStation branding on the Xbox showcase as far as June of last year. However, by the time Microsoft made the decision to be, quote, transparent, it was too late to gather all the relevant assets. Going forward, however, both Nintendo and PlayStation logos will appear every time Xbox is launching on those platforms. Quote, people should know that the storefronts where they can get our games, but I want people to be able to experience our Xbox community in our games and everything we have to offer on every screen as we can, Phil Spencer explained. Last August, we pointed out that Sony re-uploaded Xbox's Indiana Jones trailer following its PS5 announcement without the Xbox branding. It remains to be seen if Sony will continue to do that when it comes to PS5 ports of Xbox Studios titles. Now, Dewane Raksha writes, hello, PlayStation Trio. Did Microsoft pivot off of what seemed to be their strategy of attracting new players to their specific hardware too soon? They had a series of exclusive flops which seemed to have forced their hand to make everything an Xbox. But after a couple hours of Avowed and playing quite a bit of indie last year, if they can hit with Doom the Dark Ages and South of Midnight, they will have released 4 consecutive incredible games in an 8-month span. I honestly think those 4 games would have been enough to buy a console for half a life cycle. So did they abandon what has become a strong strategy too soon? Kyle Stevenson, what say you, man? I'm itching to play Avowed, but everybody's telling me wait for the Steam Deck version because it's a little rough. And I'm itching to play it because I really love Obsidian. I'm an Obsidian stan now. So
good.
did they... Is it? Oh my God, I can't wait to talk to you about it.
God.
Kyle Stevenson,
Hi.
yeah or nay? Did they abandon it too soon?
No. I don't know.
Right.
I don't have much more to say about it. It's just...
Yeah.
I think this
It
is
kinda is what
episode
it
called
is.
of just like, let's get over it, everybody. Let's move on. Like, what do you want them to do? Backtrack and then everyone be mad that they backtrack? No, it is what it is. Let's move on.
Yeah. I think just taking a look at Microsoft Gaming and taking out Activision, the Blizzard part of it, you can see why they've made the decision to do what they've done.
Sure.
And when you take a look at the hardware, it goes to show, like Phil was right. It's like, dude, you can make all these really great games. It's not going to change the fact that, like, at this very point in time, they've sold maybe 30 million units. It's doing worse year over year. It's like, at this point, we got to embrace what we are while making hardware for the audience that we have. And yeah, like, to me, it does suck because it's like, I would love Xbox to be at 70 million too, whatever. But it's just like the reality of the situation is just that the math isn't mathing. So it is, at the end of the day, it sadly is what it is. I don't know, like, you have any thoughts?
Nah, we don't see the numbers. They looked at the numbers. Clearly, they wouldn't have done it if they didn't need to do it, and they felt like they needed to do it. And honestly, they probably waited until they needed to really do it. I doubt this was a decision they made easily or lightly, because it is a big change. So I feel like they probably did it when they needed to. And from the outside, it might look like it was too quick, but we didn't see the numbers. We don't really know. So.
And again, lastly, I do want to shout out our Xbox era friends because not only are they some of the nicest people, every time I ask a dumb question, Jesse comes and answers it in the most polite way possible. But they did a stellar interview. That wasn't just asking the same question over and over again. And I think we as content creators, if we're going to be enthusiast press or enthusiast journalists, whatever we're going to name ourselves, I think we should do a better job at like maybe offering that critique. Maybe, when I saw the Paul Tassi like article about this interview, I'm like, first off, why them? Is it an easier shot to take than going after an IGN or a GameSpot of doing that? Why is it an indie site? It just kind of felt like it punching down, and I didn't like that. So, then at the same exact time, you get the Paul Tassi article of, hey, this is the Steam database number for this game that just came out, and it's the 40th one this week. So it's like, brother, look in the mirror. I don't know. I don't like that.
I love that you're referencing articles that I have not seen or heard of. So, I've curated a very great feed because I don't need that in my life.
I know. When I saw it, I was like, brother, come on, man.
Again,
hey, gang.
As we say, Twitter is all about the hot takes and the thought takes. So people who are trying to get those big numbers, they got to do those hot takes. And a lot of times in order to do those hot takes, you punch down and I didn't see it, but
how does asking for a friend, how does one get into the thought take?
Oh, you just show your ass a little bit. That's what I did. Nobody liked it.
Okay. I don't know.
Yeah.
I get people wishing there was thought takes. That's all I get.
I don't know.
I didn't mean to insinuate you. Like, I just meant like,
no,
whoa.
No, I didn't say that way.
Okay.
I'm saying other people want me to have the thought takes, and I don't have thought takes.
Fair. Okay.
Listen, it's all about, I think, the stuff you're watching, because my Instagram, it's amazing. It's just a bunch of dank memes and wrestlers and ladies that could hit me, and like that's real cool to me. And it's I've perfected it. So just got to do a little opposition research. I don't know. This comes from Push Square from Liam Croft. Wrong Organ has confirmed the PS5 port of its hit horror game Mouthwashing, which will release later this year, both digitally on the the PlayStation Store and physically, thanks to a box copied supplier from a Fangamer. So that's pretty dope.
Yeah, Mouthwashing is rad. It's heavy, but it's one of the best narratives I've played in a few years. It's pretty great.
The guy with the bandages on his face really freaks me out.
Yeah.
Yeah, he looks creepy.
This one's for you.
You did skip one.
Did I? Oh my God, how could I?
The biggest one. I thought that was intentional.
Right? The HBO's The Last of Us Season 2 locks in for an April 13th release.
Let's go.
Okay, so now I have to write down on my planner because I have a hard date of when I need to finish season 1. So just give me a moment, please.
Oh, wow, that is a planner.
Look at this.
That's dope. That's great.
There's tabs on it, y'all. There's tabs.
Ex-teacher life. Come on.
Oh, my God.
Come on.
I love that you have Spock on the cover. It's great. I didn't know you were a Star Trek fan.
It's
Spock from Stargate, you mean?
Yep. Mm-hmm.
What is this?
For our audio listeners, it's actually Darth Vader. So,
Please.
if you're wondering why that's funny, that's why.
If you could see Joe's face of pure disappointment when I said that, it was great.
Push Square. This comes from them. Publisher Annapurna Interactive has announced a showcase broadcasted that will take place in a few days. It will go live on February 24th at 9 a.m. PST, 12 p.m. EST, and 5 p.m. GMT. This will be the first big presentation from Annapurna Interactive since almost all of its staff exited the company back in September of last year. This was due to a failed plan of the Interactive branch to spin off into a separate company, and subsequently nearly the entire staff resigned. Annapurna Interactive remains, however, and has plenty of games in production at various indie studios. We'll take a fresh look at the publisher's slate in this showcase next week. Kyle, are you excited for this?
I am. I'm very excited. There's a lot of Annapurna titles that I'm looking forward to, such as Wheel Worlds, which changed its name. It was called Ghost something, and then changed its name. I'll look it up, but they made a really great game beforehand, and I'm blanking on it. The creator of Cocoon retweeted that with like the little eye emojis, like.
Okay.
So that's really, really cool. Yeah, I'm just excited because like I love Annapurna. I love what they've made. Weird World is made from the Nidhogg devs. Those are the games. Yeah, it's exciting, and also the ID at Xbox is immediately afterwards.
Are you okay? You did not look good.
Slowly dying over here. It's fine.
No. Well, I was going to say, do you think they're going to have an in memoriam for everybody that quit? But do you think we should have an in memoriam for you next week?
No, but I do think we need to take a tally of how many cough drops I popped this episode.
Oh my God, I haven't even noticed. You're like a real addict. You're doing it on the sly.
I'm only at 2 right now. I've got my evidence. Okay. I'm only at 2 right now, but we might be popping the 3rd soon.
Right,
eventually, when we're going through questions, we're just going to see her throw the bag behind her shoulders. Like, all right.
Fair enough. Okay, this next one right here. M9 Prime writes in. This, I didn't get the whole article because this was breaking news. And again, news job. It's been rough. So, M9 Prime writes, in regards to the Marvel Rivals layoffs that hit literally yesterday, we're getting updates literally all day today about this. M9 Prime goes, I don't get the layoffs at Rivals. I mean, isn't the game doing well? What motivation will people working on video games have if they get laid off, even if their game does well? I think of all these layoffs will be bad for gaming overall, but could spur a wave of indie games made by smaller teams that got burned by big publishers.
And I also just want to add, it's not just they laid off some members of the team. The game director it was laid off along with other pretty important people of the team.
Yeah. So it's not the game director. It's like the QA director left. So this is the problem that I had with the story. Yeah. No, it's good that you mentioned this because the amount of people that, and again, it sucks. I'm not trying to minimize it because it sucks. But when they go, oh, they fired the whole Seattle team, you're thinking hundreds of people. 6 people got laid off, including, again, one of the game directors. The main team is in China, and from what we can understand, NetEase is pulling back from a lot of its North American and Western studios because of geopolitics.
I wonder why.
I don't know. It's a pretty big deal. It's I can't tell you. So, but we're gonna do it big, and we're gonna do it great. And so, yeah, they're looking at it through a lens of like, we need to protect our bottom line, and we need to restructure and reorganize. So this isn't from all the ones where I'm like, this is dumb, this is stupid, but I could see why this has happened.
They still made a ton of money though. They could have held on to him.
110%. But like when you just saw like the government is taking a gun to TikTok and go sell or else, and then you just saw Marvel Snap was unable or players couldn't even access that game, then you kind of have to go, okay, so what do we do to protect our assets and protect our teams if in case we lose, communication with them for whatever reason? Makes you wonder.
Yeah, that's totally fair.
So all I'm saying is, dude, listen, the price of eggs have doubled. I'm seeing planes doing flips in the sky. I don't know, man. There's a 70-year-old guy that sounds like a radiator that's done steroids to get so ripped in charge of the FDA. I swear to God, you're not on a good, strong suit right now for me, dude. You take Marvel Rivals away from me. I'm saying I'm running for office, okay?
I'm just saying, gamers are not a group you want to mess with. We are not to be trifled with. We don't touch grass often, but when we do, we mean business, okay?
I don't care that Elon knows my social security. I just need to make this clear. If you take away my Psylocke or Wolverine skins, let me tell you, I will make a stink about it.
This is a very small offshoot, but there is this girl that I follow on TikTok, and she does an amazing DT impression, and she does like these crazy laws. She pretends that he's coming up with these crazy laws, but in that she calls Elon Musk Elon Pilon. So now I will always refer to him as Elon Pilon.
I love.
We love Elon Pilon.
We love Elon Pilon.
The real president. I mean, all right. Enough of that. We're going to get a lot of people calling me woke now and gay, whatever. Okay, everybody.
Listen, that's a compliment. I don't know how you like. Go for it. Thank you.
All right, sure. I'm not a piece of garbage. That said, I want to talk about what you've been playing because we've been playing a lot of freaking games.
So many good games.
So many good games. And let me tell you guys something. First and foremost, I want to just start with just 2 games I've been playing real fast before we get into the big stuff.
I love this first one.
I've been playing Liza P. That DLC trailer got me in. Kyle, what took me 8 hours to do on the original run has taken me 4. I'm already back at where I was. I defeated some bishop dude, and I'm in.
Hell yeah.
This is one of the pro enhanced games where I go, oh my God, this is actually a difference. This is actual 4K or pretty damn close to at 60 FPS. The quality mode is true 4K at 55 FPS. I was like, give me that true 60, you son of a gun. Beautiful. Love it. This is the spiritual successor to Bloodborne and the closest thing I will get to its sequel that one can ask for.
God,
Liza P.
It's so good, right?
So good.
Oh.
So good. And then I played Civ 7.
Okay. I'm sensing the not the same kind of ambiance.
I love Civ.
That's not the right word. Reverie? I don't know. Whatever.
Tone?
Tone? Yeah.
I played Civ 7, and I was liking Civ 7. On my PS5, normally I'm on the computer, but I'm not a dork, so I'm playing it on my PlayStation 5. And I was loving pretty much all of it. I was like, okay, we're back to it. Like, instead of having to build settlers now, we're actually just building along the city's like borders and like cities aren't as vast, so you have to interconnect them. You can make towns that you can upgrade to cities, and there's these independent like states that are forces that you can trade with to get money with, or you could sick them on other nations to kind of weaken them. It's really cool stuff. That said, they added a mechanic to the game, which once I hit, I was like, and I'm out.
No.
Usually in these strategy games, you hit ages, right? You get your Middle Ages, you get your Enlightened Age, you get your Industrial Age, so on and so forth. In Civ, they have 3 eras, and I'm going to butcher the names because I've forgotten. You have pretty much the BC era. Then when you hit AD era, you get the Enlightened era, and then you get the Modern era. So there's only 3 eras. When you hit a new era, you get to choose a new leader to stack buffs with the leader that you pick from the beginning. Already, that doesn't really make a lot of sense. And I don't really like, because once I get the vibe for who I'm playing as, I don't want to play as the Huns once I'm like, the Greeks. It's just, I don't know. It didn't vibe well with me. But the one thing that I hated was some of your troops just leave. They don't exist anymore, because in that age they don't exist. Where in strategy games, if you have a warrior type that doesn't upgrade, he just doesn't upgrade. He'll still exist, but if a caveman's going up against a guy with an AR-15, guy with the AR-15 is going to win. So it's like, okay, I don't know why my whole army was wiped out in a blink of an eye, but I was doing a conquest run, and all of a sudden my whole army is just no more. And now I'm like, well, what do I do now? It's like there's 3 mini games of Civ in one big game of Civ, and I hated that. So Civ 7 for me was a drop, and I'm really bummed out about it because I love Civ. I'm hoping they get to patch it, because it seems like that is the big thing that everybody's upset about, is how new ages work. Then maybe they get to patch that out, because whoever's idea that was, let me tell you something. I will run for Congress and I will get it changed. Okay.
I could see that being a cool mode.
Yes.
Like, offer that as a mode could be cool, could be unique, but to change your whole game formula seems like that's a choice.
Upsetting. I was living because I was in the zone. I was like, oh, I'm on like hour 4 or 6, whatever. And I'm like, this is great. I love Civilization. I could get used to the controls. It's fine. And then when that happened, I was like, oh. And there was already like a thing I didn't like, where as the ages progress, you get new crises that happen, and they're only negative buffs. So it's like, oh, if you own a city, it's like -6 happiness. It's like, my people just hate me for no reason. Like, I'm doing everything right, but I'm still being punished. It didn't feel right. So
see, if they're gonna do that, they have to go hard and be like, oh, you got the Black Plague. You got the Black Plague. Half your civilization died.
Or it's like, here's a debuff for like this amount of turns, and if you're able to, to combat this crisis effectively, then you get a buff for it. Like, I don't know. It didn't make me feel nice. But gang, I want to drop from this conversation into our review of Lost Records Bloom and Rage Tape 1.
You nailed it that time.
I knew it. Kyle Stevenson.
Hi.
Tegan.
Hello.
Take it away. You guys
Why
have
did
a
I
conversation.
say it like that?
Hello.
Hello. All of a sudden, sultry over here.
You got
Give
a
me 2
Lionel
cough
Richie
drops
on me.
and I am somebody else. Slow me down.
Hello. Is it me you're looking for? Oh my God. All right, I'm going to play Lionel while you guys talk. Go for it. I can see it in your eyes.
So yeah, much love to Donut for the codes.
Yes.
Lost Records Bloom and Rage, just like a brief little review before we get really into it. I really love the narrative here. I love the nostalgia of the 90s. The 4 girls, the little group of friends there are so lovable and easy to attach to. With that being said, though, I understand hearing from people of it's a little slow. The pacing, it can be a little rough. and it feels incomplete because there is a tape 2, and the way tape 1 ends is on a cliffhanger, and I could totally see why that bummed people out. So, and there were some tech issues as well. A lot of texture popped in, going back and forth between the times, and we'll get into it a little bit more, but I didn't love how the mouth didn't sync up with the lines of dialogue a whole lot either. That kind of took me out.
Okay. I thought that was just me.
No.
Okay.
Yeah, right. that took me out a little bit. But I think it's super, super solid. It's a great narrative. I can't wait for tape 2 to come out. But yeah, I definitely think this is a must play from my point of view.
Yeah. And it's on PlayStation Extra right now.
Yeah, PS Plus day 1. So if you're on that tier, you got it.
Like, what did you think about the tape 1 first time?
I absolutely loved it. However, going off of what Kyle said, I do think that this is a game where you're either going to have an amazing time with it or you're going to be bored out of your mind. And I don't think there's going to be a middle ground. I really don't. I think you're either really going to vibe with it or you're not going to vibe with it. And you're going to be like, nothing's happening. Because like Kyle said, it's a slow burn. You gotta, if you are a romantasy reader, you're going to be used to this, but it is a slow burn. It does not pick up for a while. It takes a long time to build those relationships with your friends. It takes a long time to kind of establish who your character is, and kind of the emotional baggage of being a teenager, if you will. But nothing really happens until right at the very end. However, I loved that. Yeah. I think because I was a 90s kid, I wasn't a 90s teenager, but I was a 90s kid. I was very sentimental to that time frame. I saw my little special S on one graffiti, and I was sold.
Shout out to the cool S.
I especially feel like because it's a group of 4 girls, 4 friends, I might have resonated with it more than other people might have, because it is a very accurate description of having your group of best friends and how quickly you become friends when you're at that age. And there was a lot of, there's trigger warnings at the beginning, and I do think that those are like valid because there's a lot of emotional baggage that you're dealing with as a teenager that I dealt with as a teenager, and it was kind of like, holy shit, this is a flashback, like this is bringing me back. And I think that's one of the reasons why I loved it. But nothing really happens until the end. So if you're vibing with the emotion of that throwback feel, if you're liking learning who the characters are and that sort of thing, you're really going to like it. But if you're not vibing with that, you are going to be bored out of your mind.
Yeah. Do you think tape 2 should have been a part of this as well? Or because like to me, like from the things that I liked about it, from again, like the hour-ish that I played of it, was like the first conversation you're having in the car with your mother, like you're having like music playing in the back, and like you can change the music, and to get what type of vibe you want, or you could be fiddling around like to get some context clues of what's going on, but then your mom will be like, "Hey, are you listening to me, or are you just fiddling with shit?" And you're like, and you get to choose, like, I'm just, no, I'm listening to you, Mom. Yeah, it's okay. Yes, whatever. Like, it was like how those interactions felt like. I was like, yeah, I love how it's like, hey, we know this is a video game, but like, if you were doing this in real life, it'd be weird, and so this is weird that you're doing it. To like, the vibes of the 90s as like a 90s kid, like when she has to redo the VHS tape, right? Like rewind it for Blockbuster. Hilarious. That's awesome. And so like it's those kinds of conversations that I really dug. And for Don't Nod, and their gimmicks of like Life is Strange, where you have, you can manipulate time, you can manipulate emotions, all this stuff. Is there a gimmick here, or not to say gimmick, but is there a gameplay mechanic here that makes this game solely unique, or is it just, hey, this is a really good narrative that jumps in and out between modern and 90s?
Yeah, I think that gimmick, for lack of a better word, is the camera. And I really, really loved the camera portions of it, and it made sense to the character of Swan. So if you're unfamiliar with Lost Records, you play a Swan, kind of a loner in school. I believe she's like junior going into senior year of high school, I think, around that.
I think she's a sophomore.
Yeah, I think she's 16, so 16. I think she's a sophomore going to junior, maybe.
Yeah, so, and she's just living her life. She's moving at the end of the summer, and she going to return a movie to the Blockbuster-esque, they call it the Movie Palace. She runs into other girls from their school, and things happen, and then they become really, really close, and that's where the story goes, and you're building relationships to them. But the really cool thing about Swan is she films everything on her VHS camcorder. So it's really cool that the camera is an extension of Swan, not only just in a story perspective, but gameplay wise, and getting to look around the environment, and you record things that you think will fit, and you can edit the scenes in the menu in the camcorder and make like the old school home videos that everyone had tried to do back in the day. I was terrible at them. And it gives you like objectives of like film birds, right? If you just want to go for birds, you can find birds. There's specific story things you can do. And they give you multiple options for each category too, for most of them. So like you film what you think is interesting. I really, really dug that a lot. It's maybe a little bit on the simple side of things, like zoom in and out, hit record, but I think like that's on purpose and it works well enough. I don't know about you, Light. How'd you like the camera?
I loved the camera. I'm a big collectible girly, so I loved trying to find all of the things that I was supposed to be filming, because it tells you, like, for example, you can record critters, and it says, okay, record 12 critters. And so you see a squirrel, and you're like, I gotta get that. There's a frog. Oh, I gotta get that. And I know it sounds silly, but I wanted to complete that. I wanted to check that off. But then I think the part that I thought was really cool is what you film is actually what is in your film. So when you're going back and you're editing your tape to create your story and to create your own movie, that awful shot of the frog that I got that I thought was super artistic but ended up being totally terrible was what was actually in my film. And like Kyle said, you can rearrange it and you can make it your own. So I thought that was really cool because, again, I used to make those home movies. Like, it was 100% nostalgia. Like, it brought me back. And I think it was also cool because since I wanted to collect everything, I was living behind my camera. I always had my camera up. And I had multiple times where a character would call me out on it and be like, is this really a time you should be recording? Or can you please stop recording me right now? I'm uncomfortable. Or, like little things like that. So I don't know. It just felt like I was actually living through that. And I think that's why I didn't find it boring, because it felt like I was actually there. That felt like a real conversation I would have with someone. Like, if I was living behind the camera, one of my friends would call me out on it and be like, hey, can you put that down for a minute? Because you've been behind there for a really long time. Or, I felt like the things they said to each other were things that we would have actually said to each other as kids in the 90s. And I thought they did such a great job with that. And yeah, the camera is a little bit simplistic, I guess, but it felt natural and it felt really well done. And I thought they did a great job with it.
Yeah.
Awesome.
I think that friendship that we see blossom is so special to I think anyone who grew up in the 90s, or just even as a kid, right, where you have that group of friends that you no longer really talk to, but you still think back and think of all the fun times. Like, as I was playing this, I was thinking of going to my friend James's house during the summer and playing Manhunt in his neighborhood, like really late into the night, and staying over their house and just playing games all night long, or watching movies on VHS and eating Doritos and drinking soda, sitting, crisscross applesauce in front of the TV. There's my teacher just came out. They did such a great job of
We're bringing sitting Indian style back. We all know crisscross applesauce is lame. We all know it's lame. No one likes applesauce.
They really
I'm
did.
sorry.
No, it's fine.
So good.
They did such a great job of capturing that essence. And yeah, when you really get into it and you learn more about the characters, Nora, Kat, and Autumn, especially with the time jumps too, right? Like I thought that might have been a little bit jarring, but they always hit exactly like when I felt like I needed it to, because it was a little bit of a slower pace. It would pop back into the bar where they're all meeting up because something happened, which we don't know what happened, and they all agreed to never talk about it again. But a mysterious package showed up, and they decided to all get together to figure out what was going on.
And that's like the hook that got me, because it was very like, I don't know, it's very like Yellow Jackets-esque. It's like, hey, there's something traumatic that has happened to us, and we're all coming together in our later years to kind of like, or something brings us together that, you know, makes us not just revisit the past, but go on this adventure together. It's like, I love that hook.
Yeah,
that premise is really awesome.
And the issue with that hook is it happens within the last hour and a half or hour of the game is when it really kind of like kicks off, where I'm like, man, I wish I got more of this early, even though I didn't like hate my time with the girls. I wish it like, ramped up a little bit quicker,
because it feels like what you said. It's like it's around 4 hours, so it's like it's a lot of setup. Is what it seems like, right? Let's build these relationships with our friends. Let's trigger those memories, and maybe that's the hook and the carrot on the stick is like triggering more of those memories. Because as you're telling me like your memories, like I'm thinking of like my high school friend Ruben, and him asking, in the 1970s, were they riding horses? It's like that's the funniest thing I've ever heard.
And like it's like from a game standpoint, yes, it was a little bit of a slower pace, but I'm also thinking of like, if let's say we grew up together and we all get together after 20 something years, which is what happens in the game, we're not going to talk about the serious stuff. We're going to reminisce about our childhood and like some of our favorite moments together. So like reminiscing about that without addressing this mysterious package so early on, which I guess you could force through it with choices, because this is a don't nod game, so like choices do matter and affect things. It just led to more reminiscing and not kind of like pushing it forward too much.
And I think, Joe, you had asked, like, do we feel this should have been one game versus broken up into two parts? And I could definitely see the argument for that. I see why they broke it up into two parts, because that's kind of their formula, I think, typically. But I do think with a game like this, like, it is crucial to have those relationships solidly built before you get into the big, oh my God, that's crazy. Because if those relationships aren't built, the little, not necessarily plot twist, but the surprise at the end is not going to land. There's a surprise at the end of the first tape, because of course there is. And that's not going to land if you haven't done all of the things that you did. So yes, it's a slow burn, but it's important. So I do think that maybe if this was just all released at the same time, people might feel a little bit differently, because they'll be like, oh yeah, that was a slower beginning, but now that we're into it, I see why that needed to be. Versus the thing happens and then it cuts, and now you're like, okay, well, I had all this buildup and it didn't lead to anything because we took the cut. So I do think people who are more critical of it right now, if they land tape 2, obviously we haven't played it yet, so we don't know, but if they land tape 2, I do think they'll look more favorably on tape 1 afterwards. But again, if you're not someone who cares about building relationships, if you're not someone who likes the slow burn, if you're constantly waiting for that plot twist or that big thing, this part 1 is probably not going to be for you. So maybe wait or don't play it, or, you know. But if you are someone who's willing to put that effort in for what could potentially be a really cool payout, because if they land it, I think it's going to be really cool. This is absolutely worth your time.
Yeah, that's awesome. I loved every second of it. I understand if you want to wait for tape 2 and play it all in one go. But yeah, it should definitely be on your radar if you like narrative in games. Not to mention, like, I think the game's gorgeous too. It's very, very pretty. The soundtrack is incredible. It's awesome. And like, shout out to the performances specifically, because like, yes, I did cry at the end of the game because I was so attached to them.
Cry counter.
Cry counter. Add it. I was so attached to them, and how tape 1 ends is something that I kind of thought might have happened because they were leaving hints. But when it did happen, it destroyed me because it was when you realize they're still kids. Yeah, they're in high school, but they're kids and they're going through, traumatic stuff. So it's really good.
This isn't spoiler, but Kyle, what did you name your pet?
Oh, Pumpkin.
Pumpkin. Oh, I named mine Shadow.
Yeah.
Same. Yeah. There you go. It's a black cat. I'm like, Shadow. Yeah.
You had a black cat?
Yeah, that was gonna be the next question. What color was your cat?
Oh, orange.
That's really cool. We had a black cat because we named our Shadow.
That's
awesome. Look at
awesome.
that.
I love that.
Yeah. Oh, cool. So, yeah. Would you recommend it at its current? Yeah. As it stands.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I think so, especially because tape 2, if you already own it, is an update. You don't have to buy it again. That still goes for PS Plus users too. So if you get it because it's part of the PS Plus program day 1, when tape 2 comes out in mid-April, I believe it is, you'll get access to tape 2 when that's awesome. Ready to go.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
So it seems like a no-brainer.
No-brainer.
PlayStation Extra, go for it. It's a heck of a time.
Yeah.
That said, I can't wait to play the rest of it this weekend because I was vibing with it hard because it gave me what my brother must have felt when he was watching Stranger Things. you know?
Yeah.
So I'm like, shit, this stupid little S's got a goddamn trapper keeper here.
I caught a stray in it. I don't know if you guys caught it. I put it on Blue Sky today. On the side of the phone at the movie palace, the Blockbuster. It goes. I think it said Kyle was here, and then the graffiti underneath was an arrow that says "jerk off," pointing to Kyle. I'm like, oh, come on! What?
Suck an egg.
Come on! And the graffiti, again, the world stuff. All the graffiti I took time to read because it's totally 90s things.
Yeah,
it's really fantastic, and it's real too, right? They even in the script they say lack of a better word non-PC things, and then the present day girls in the voiceover will talk about we really shouldn't have been talking like that back then because it's so bad. It's very self-aware, but it also makes sense of where we are in life now. There's plenty of things people did all around the world, us included, when we were younger.
I'm making it all legal. First off, the thing that hit me, and then we'll get into the rest of the stuff, is with your shout out, Kyle, is Kyle, and then it's arrow point jerk off. What if that was you, for the Bethesda game? It's just
I would take it. Listen, I will take anything at this point. They had Cock Can't Cook in Dead Space. I would cry either way.
Shit, okay.
Have me carved into a building. I've got the Thieves Guild carved here. Carve something for me into a building. I could be a stick figure. I don't care.
It's fine. Call me trash. It's okay.
Somebody write a story in Elder Scrolls 6, like a scroll you pick up, talking about a woman addicted to the cough drops.
Yeah.
And got really sick.
Come up with a new name for Dr. Pepper and write a story about it, and I am your girl.
There you go.
Done. Writes itself.
All right, gang. Are we holding on to anything at all?
Oh.
My Shadow Heart pop.
Yeah, Kyle, did you figure out who sent that to you?
It was Joe.
It's me.
That was the Christmas gift. Did you send this? I was like, I did not.
I was like, there's only 3 people that have my mailing address.
That's right.
2 of them are you, the other is Mike. and I feel like Joe wouldn't send me this, but then after you said no, it was part of our Secret Santa gift Christmas thing. And I totally forgot about it, and it arrived. So
I had to double check my orders because I'm gonna be honest, I order so much off of Amazon.
Sure.
I was like, shit, did I buy that? And I accidentally sent it to Kyle, and I meant to send it to myself.
Look, can we just take a look at this just beautiful PlayStation Edge black controller?
Must be nice.
She pretty.
Pretty.
Look at that. Ooh, she got junk in the trunk. Look at these bumpers. Ooh,
baby got back.
I looked into. I almost impulse bought the anniversary DualSense.
Yeah.
And then I had it in my cart. I went to go check out because I had a.
Wait.
The anniversary?
Yeah.
The old school one?
Yeah. It was on Walmart.
You found it?
No, it was on Walmart, sold by like a third party person.
So
it was
like
more than it was like
$100
some bucks.
Okay, I was like, I'm sorry.
Yeah,
where did you find
no,
this?
like
How are you
if I
finding
saw it
this?
in
These are not
stock,
the
I would have
wild.
texted you immediately.
Yeah.
But then when
Verizon, you guys have two.
where are they at, Verizon?
Where's my controller, Verizon?
We can't hear you now. Where is it?
Prepare the drop. Here are the latest deals and deals coming to the PlayStation storefront. Cal Stevenson, take it away, sir.
PS5, Lost Records, Bloom and Rage, Tape 1. Came out on the 18th. Berserk Boy, an indie we showed off at 6-1 Indie, came to PS5 on the 18th. Dying Light 2, Stay Human, Tower Raid standalone elite release came out.
There you go.
Didn't know that was a thing. Cabernet, another 6-1 game. You're a vampire lady. February 20th, we've got a Backrooms game called The Backrooms 1998 coming out on February 20th. On February 21st, Like a Dragon Pirate Yakuza in Hawaii comes out. RPG Maker With is the name. Comes out on the 21st. Please Be Happy. And Whisker Squadron Survivor also comes out on the 21st. Another 6-1 game.
Heck yes.
Kind of cool.
Yeah. Good stuff. Good stuff. All right, gang. Now it's time for, sadly, the last segment of the show, but our favorite segment of the show. God, I am off this week. It's time for the Sony Pony Express.
Yeehaw!
Don't do it, Lee.
I clapped instead.
All right, good.
I could hear the voice crack leading into a cough, so I was like, we're not going to do it.
Unbroken Light writes in.
Mm.
Does that mean, are you Broken Light currently, Light?
Apparently.
Is that a wrestling thing? Could that be a wrestling term? Isn't that like a broken Jeff Hardy or something like that?
Oh, that is a character. Yeah. Unbroken Light writes in, hey, I asked this way back, but she wasn't on the show that week. After the next show was the Platties. Great show, by the way, so it never got answered. Not sure if it's because it was not a good question, so just forgotten. So I'm trying my luck once more.
You're here now, Broken Light. That's all that matters, okay?
Hey, guys, question for Light here. If she feels comfortable answering, of course. I think I heard her little girl's around 3 to 4, right? I have 2 girls of my own, 8 and 23 months. I don't remember if she mentioned if her child started gaming or not yet. And if not, is it because of all that talk about screens being bad? And what is her and Mr. Light's plan on introducing her children to the world of gaming? Is the screen time a concern for them? I, for one, can't wait for my little princess to be old enough to share great gaming moments with them and help them discover the hobby. If they do enjoy it, I won't be forcing anything on them, obviously. I also know that Kyle has a little one watching him play occasionally. Was it ever a concern for Owen's parents, not sure the spelling of the name, you nailed it, that he should not watch too often because of the screen time?
Listen, I might be outing myself as a bad parent here. We don't care about screen time in our house. I know we should. I know the science behind it. I studied the science behind it. Before I was a parent, I was all about, nope, we're not going to have screen time. Yeah. We kept it educational for a long time. Miss Rachel, educational shows. And my daughter was talking real young because of those. So say what you want to say about screen time.
Yep. If
utilized properly, it's fine. I'm not a doctor. Don't take that as advice, please.
What are you talking about? You got your new job at the FC or whatever. Just at the FDA, you're there.
In terms of gaming, she does try to game. We'll put Spider-Man on for her, and she loves jumping and flipping around down the street. And also, I've been playing Disney Dreamlight Valley, so she likes to walk around my valley, staring up at the sky pretty much 100% of the time, or down at the grass 100% of the time. Also, when I played Avowed, she was adamant that she wanted to run around in Avowed, so I just did a little hard save, and she yeeted herself off a couple cliffs, and it was fine. So she does want to game with us because it's obviously important to both my husband and I, so I think she can see that. She also gives herself tattoos already, so we're going to have to be prepared for that conversation when she's older, because she's going to want tattoos for sure. But I think you just need to know what your kid is okay with and what they want to do. We have like a Paw Patrol game that's co-op, so we'll let her play, and then one of us plays, and then we kind of like coach her along with that. She does really well at that. She platinumed Peppa Pig. So kind of just meet them where they're at, and they'll tell you what they're interested in and what they're not interested in. And you can find ways to let them play, even if they're not really doing anything. Like Spider-Man, for example, she literally just jumps down the road and flips, and occasionally will somehow get herself to swing, and she gets so excited. Disney Dreamlight Valley, she just liked walking around and seeing the different characters or seeing the flowers. So, honestly, as soon as your kids show interest, if you want to let them hold a controller and try it out, obviously just choose a game that's not going to have graphic things or things that are going to give them nightmares, but use your discernment as a parent, and I think you'll be good.
Yeah, I think with my nieces and now my nephew, screen time is just a thing that happens. We try. It's a losing battle. Especially with Owen now, he's found his YouTube algorithm is in a place where I don't like. It's like
it's a bunch of Rogan experience.
No. It's like the creepy Sonics and like scary versions of characters we all know. He loves that shit, and I hate it. I don't know how he found it, but I tried to erase it all. It's gone. But when it comes to gaming, the girls love to watch me play Aloy and Horizon. They adored that and would watch me play that. They love watching me now play scary games like Resident Evil, and they rooted for me to die because they found it funny. Same thing with like Control. They would watch me play Control, and they rooted for the hiss. They're like, I forgot what
these girls like you much.
They enjoy. I ham it up. Like I make it more of a big deal to make it more fun. I forgot what the DLC guy's character in Control's name is, but he's very big and tall. He looks like Slenderman. They were rooting for him in that fight the whole time. And with Owen, he watched me play a little bit of like Final Fantasy Rebirth, like out in the open world, and he asked to play, and I gave him the controller, and it's like, here, just hit square. And he was taking down enemies because it's just like an attack, and he was doing great. Honestly, and this is not a joke at all, Astrobot is a great introduction, especially on PlayStation, because Owen would come down all the time and be like, I want to play the monkey. I want to fight the monkey. So we've done that monkey boss in Astrobot at least 250 times because he loves it. So yeah, it's again, like Light was saying, it's all about your preference and what you're okay with showing them. But I would also like, don't force it. If they don't love it, they don't love it. It's fine.
And they'll tell you if they're interested, as you know. Like kids are not quiet if they want to do something. The other thing we do is we listen to gaming soundtracks in the car a lot. So like she knows Kratos, as she used to call him when she was a kid, or when she was a baby, Tatos, because she couldn't say Kratos.
That is adorable.
She knows Geralt, so she's the Witcher. She calls him the Witcher. She knows Pikachu.
That's how she learned
Pikachu.
Fuck. By the way.
Fuck. Listen, we are going to be in trouble with some of her vocabulary, let me tell you. But that gets her excited too, because she knows those songs. So then if Mr. Light pops on God of War, she's like, wait, that's Kratos' song. And then she wants to watch because she knows the Kratos song. So if you want them to get excited, that could be something you do too, is listen to the soundtrack in the car. And then if they get addicted to the soundtrack, then they know.
Yeah.
To make you feel better, Light, Owen has been running around the house screaming, hell no, the last week. And I'm like, what'd you say? He goes, hell no. He would just run away.
Like, well, listen, all right, cool. I thought that was all good advice. I like how Unbroken Light didn't ask me, but I'm going to insert myself here. I've been seeing a lot of like the first thing your kid sees videos, and it's like people holding up like a TV or thing. Listen, the first thing my son's seeing as he's entering this world, or my daughter, whichever, first thing my kid's seeing, all right? Crowning, he is seeing Bloodborne, the
You're
intro.
Gonna be seeing Bloodborne, actually.
You'll all think this is just a mere bad dream or something like that. And he's just like, but I want that to be his first word.
Joe's gonna be like, all right, I've got 1/3 of the umbilical cord. I'm ready for the endings now.
Joe's not going to give up the placenta or the umbilical cord because you need it.
Hide them around the house.
He's like, this is a key item. It's staying in my backpack.
This is how you unlock your college tuition.
Your wife is like, what's that smell? Don't worry about it.
Don't worry.
Don't worry about it.
Jason hasn't found it yet. He needs to learn.
Love it.
Squid Monkey writes in, hi, you trio. I'm looking at trying to get some new ultra rare trophies that are fairly easy to get. I don't mind some grind. Are there any games with ultra rare trophies that you'd recommend me try that are easy to get? Kind regards.
This is a good question. Because I can't think of a rare trophy other than like the rare plat, like again, like other than my Sekiro plat. Because like there's a like I know the rare ones on Xbox are called Diamond, but like even then, like when you look up at like true achievements or you're at
PSN profiles.
PSN profiles, I'm thinking PSN trophies. It's just like everybody has them. Like you know what I mean? Like it's not. I don't know about the rarity of individual trophies rather than just the platinum. Like that's not the thing I'm focusing on. I don't know about you.
Ultra rare on PSN profiles are like nobody has them.
I mean, got a couple of Concord ones.
You can't get those.
Yeah, that's right. And I was like level 30 by the time that game closed. So I was getting there.
Just looking at this list here.
Yeah.
If you want to play the original Tomb Raider, Let's Dance. Defeat all enemies in the ballroom while music is on. That doesn't sound too hard.
Yeah.
Coming from someone who never played the original, and it's probably really hard.
I don't know how easy it is now. I mean, it wasn't easy then. There's some tough Fall Guys trophies to get. Like, win 5 games in a row. It's doable, but...
Looks like City Skylines has a couple that might not necessarily be hard, but more so just a grind. And you said you don't mind a grind. Have 15 fairy lines. That doesn't sound hard. Just sounds like it probably takes a long time.
Marvel Rivals, Captain America. There's a trophy where it's like kill 3 people with Captain America's ultimate. His ultimate is terrible, and he does barely any damage. It's at like I think 1.5% of folks have that achievement. So you go there. Yeah. All my Xbox fans are really just like fucking up my vocabulary. I'm gonna add the F in there because they've been saying achievements, and it's diluting my mind of the lesser thing. Trophies are obviously better.
Fake fan. Fake PlayStation fan.
Oh,
I say like any if you want a tough one. There's a lot of ultra rare trophies in Balatro, but good luck. This could be ultra rare because nobody played the game.
Okay. The Gollum game has one.
Oh.
It's called Good Smeagol, No Room for Gollum. And that one might not be hard. It might just be ultra rare because nobody played the game.
Do you want to go through that?
Listen, worth it. How bad do you want it?
Exactly. Excalibur writes in, I'm sure this has been asked before, but I had an opportunity recently while working at Amblin. Ooh, humble brag, a dream come true. Lucky. Okay. I want to know, is there like an ET statue there just hanging around? That'd be great to know. To informally pitch Resistance as a film project. Whoa. I
feel like that's NDA territory. What
what? I thought Spielberg...
Let him cook.
I thought Spielberg meets World War II and Aliens. Sign me up. I was wondering what the trio's perfect filmmaker and game IP pairing would be. Guillermo del Toro and Bloodborne? Fincher and Alan Wake? Maybe Lord and Miller for Astrobot? What are some of yours?
That's a good one. That's a good question. Because to me, I'm like, it's like you know the right pairing when you see the right pairing. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
One that comes to mind. Oh my God, Ryan. Is it? I always forget if it's Ryan Coogler or Brian Coogler.
Ryan.
It's Ryan Coogler.
Mm-hmm. Ryan.
Let Ryan Coogler do fucking Deathloop, dude.
Oh yeah.
Let's go.
What does he do? I'm so bad with names, guys.
Ryan Coogler, Black Panther.
Black Panther 2, Creed 1 and 2, and then he's doing Sinners with Michael B. Jordan, which respectfully to the whole entire cast. Let me tell you, if there's anyone could turn me, it's Michael B. Jordan. I I'm getting ahead of myself. I just thought about our beautiful relationship we have. Anyway, I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
Who's giving birth to your Bloodborne baby in that situation?
Yeah.
Right, me. No delay. Let's be real. But no, yeah, Deathloop, Ron Coogler would be great. Shoot. And then who else? I was thinking. Oh my God, why am I blanking on his name? Interstellar.
Nolan.
Wait, Christopher Nolan. That's who's going to be my director. What do you want him to make? What do you want him to make?
Oh, The Order 1886. Ooh. Let's go.
Okay.
You know? Shoot.
Man. I'm trying to pick a PlayStation IP first and then trying to find a director that I want to do it.
Mm-hmm.
Fair. I have a joke one. Kojima.
And what, just Death Stranding?
Whatever he wants, he's just dying to make one.
So I was gonna say Christopher Nolan because I think watched the most of his films, but I think Christopher Nolan and a BioShock could be cool. Because he likes to do a lot of like the practical effects, and he is a great storyteller, and I think a game like that, or I only put the second one, but like the universe of Dishonored could be really cool from Christopher Nolan. Why am I randomly losing my voice now? I don't know. It's just gone. It just decided to leave the building.
Oh no!
What the heck?
Why can't I think of their names?
What? Russo brothers?
Thank you. Yes, the Russo brothers. Give them Horizon.
Oh.
A nice big long cast of characters. They shoot action very well.
I was thinking
that'd be kind of cool.
What about James Cameron? You want to typecast him?
I don't love James Cameron as much as other people do.
Oh my God.
Hear me out. James Cameron turning the Avatar game into a movie.
I see that.
Okay, I got one more. I'm sorry.
I have another one too.
I'll go for it.
Taika Waititi.
Okay.
God of War.
Hell yes.
It's a little too close to Thor.
Right.
Funky.
But I would love to see him do Brock and Sindri.
Hell yes.
I think that would be fun.
And he's the head. He's Mimir. Okay, last one. Gareth Edwards. He did Godzilla. He did Rogue One, and he's doing the latest Jurassic Park movie, if I'm not mistaken. He understands scale really well. He's really good at scaling things and really just filling out the world. Like, one of the best shots is seeing the planet in Rogue One and just seeing how truly huge a Star Destroyer is by how it just hovers over a giant city, and then pan that out to how giant the Death Star is that just pales in comparison to, how just huge this giant moon is. Dude, put him on a Horizon thing. Let's go. Shadow of the Colossus, let's have at it.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
Who's making my Elder Scrolls movie?
Peter Jackson.
Yeah. That's a good one.
That's a great one.
Or who's doing Fallout right now? He'd do a good job with that.
Oh, that's actually Nolan's brother.
Yeah.
I believe. Yeah.
And he also did Chernobyl. I'm liking Chernobyl.
Ooh. There you go.
Writer of Chernobyl. It's the writer of Last of Us.
It's true.
That's what I'm thinking of. I'm sorry. That's what I'm thinking of.
You're good.
Still, write an Elder Scrolls movie.
Alex in chat says James Gunn in Elder Scrolls.
Yes.
Yeah.
That'd be
okay.
fun.
Actually, James Gunn, Borderlands. Make it good.
Ooh, there you go.
I was going to say the issue.
Sorry, I'm sorry. You're going to have so many poop jokes, you're not going to know what to do with them.
No, you need to make a wall joke. It's Borderlands.
Yep.
And the wall is so beautiful. It's so huge.
Oh, boy.
Right,
my problem I was running into is a lot of my favorite games have already been turned into shows or movies.
Yeah,
exactly.
So then I'm like, wait, I need something else. Ghost of Tsushima would be an amazing movie.
I mean, we're getting it.
We're getting that late.
Yeah.
Right, but shit.
Who shit? I don't know.
Yeah, the one the one that did Kill Bill and all those ones.
Tarantino?
Yeah,
Tarantino could make a sick Tsushima movie.
I like that.
I know we're getting one, but still.
Yeah. I like that.
I wouldn't mind Tarantino do a Last of Us movie too. That'd be kind of cool.
Fuck it. Let's put Tarantino in Astrobot. I want to see Astrobot.
Hell yeah. Still Cadet writes in, hello, I hope you three are good. February is still going strong on game releases, and it's kind of overwhelming. At first, I put a lot of pressure on myself to play a lot of the new games, but I don't know if it's my contrarian spirit or an instinct to avoid a gaming burnout. I went the exact opposite and slowed down gaming and switched back to reading. As a result, I finished Mistborn Era 1 and started Stormlight Archive. Did you ever feel burnout on a game or on games, or have the same reaction as mine to back off before it's too late?
Kyle, you're doing that right now.
Yeah, I was in a big gaming funk, and I was just like, nothing's appealing to me. I'm just going to watch a ton of movies, and that's what I did, and that helped. And Lost Records came out, and I really loved that because it's very movie-like. So yeah, I have no issues not gaming every day and just finding something else, because gaming is a lot. You need a lot of attention. I need to be in the right headspace. So like if the family is upstairs is being loud or they need me or keep yelling down, like I don't like pausing games. I just like to game until I'm tired, kind of thing. I want to get back into reading real bad. I have Mistborn right next to my bed, and I bought myself a little book light to read at night, and I haven't done it because I've been so
Kyle,
tired.
if you read it, I will reread it so we can talk about it.
Hell yeah.
It's so good.
I've heard nothing but amazing things, and it was one of my Christmas gifts that my parents got for me. I need to. I need to do it.
I'm getting used to not beating games and be like, okay, this is enough. This is like, it's where I gotta stop because something else interesting's come out. I did that with one game. I forget what the game was. Honestly, this is how bad my memory is. Because I started Kingdom Come Deliverance just briefly, and then I got into Kingdom Come Deliverance. I was like, I need literally up until the point where it's like choose your own character. So it's like 15 minutes in. I was just so tired from work. I'm like, this is a game where I need a 4-hour commitment just to get a dent in here. So I'm gonna that is my over the weekend game, So yeah, I'm sorry. Go for it.
Yeah, no, I was just gonna say I definitely have those moments. For me, it's I'll finish a game and nothing else. It's like that game hole. Nothing else is what I want it to be. And I also think, and you guys are probably right there with me, where when you do this for work, sometimes it's hard for you to detach the work element of gaming.
Yes.
So I'll be playing something and then I'll feel guilty for playing it and not saving it for the channel or streaming it or whatever. So then I find myself playing things that I've already played and I don't necessarily want to do that. So I go through phases where I am obsessed with gaming, and then I'll go in a game hole, and then I'll be obsessed with reading, and it fluctuates back and forth. Right now I'm currently back in the gaming because Nisa got me into Disney Dreamlight Valley and I was obsessed with that. And then I also started playing Skyrim again and I was obsessed with that. And then Lost Records came out and I was obsessed with that, and now Avowed, and I cannot stop playing that. So I'm back fully in the gaming, but it will shift again and I'll go back into, and what I have found is, like you said, I don't force myself to finish a game. Like Indiana Jones, for example, I was having a hard time doing the collectibles and I was getting so pissed off and I was like, this is going to ruin the game for me. So I'm just going to stop. And I didn't beat it. Star Wars Outlaws, I was having a ton of fun with, but then something else came out and I just didn't go back to it. And I'm not kicking myself and beating myself up over not going back to it. I had a lot of fun. I was having fun. I will go back at some point, but I'm not going to force myself to do that because then it's not fun for me anymore. So listening to yourself, and if it's just not driving, find something else to do. And I think that's healthy. So good on you.
That's kind of why I didn't force myself through Witcher 3 when Joe was playing it. Because I just got finished Dragon Age. I just couldn't do another open world kind of big RPG kind of thing. So I was like, I'm going to just pause, pump the brakes. I was having a good time. I'll go back eventually because I could feel it.
Yeah, it happens to me, and then I'm sorry, then we'll go to the last question. But like, it happens to me where it's like I beat this game, now I kind of need like a week off of like serious. Like I'll play Marvel Rivals and whatever, and I'll make fun of Luke for being stupid. But like, other than that, like I'm, I'll be like off of gaming, and then I'll be like watching shows. And so like right now, it's like I'm letting the shows pile up. So like I know I need to watch like Arcane season 2. My junk food show is The Rookie. I love The Rookie, dude. I have such a crush on Officer Chen. It's honestly, come on guys, let's give cops a second chance. And then like watching The White Lotus because I like season 3 because I love The White Lotus. And so like it's kind of like just oh my god, Abbott Elementary's like back on, so like gotta watch that.
Yeah.
So yeah, and then even right now,
back. I haven't watched that yet.
Yeah, I go back to like The Office and Parks and Rec yearly, and so like that's gonna cure the seasonal depression for sure.
Yeah.
All right, Kyle, let's talk about this last question here.
Last question comes from Fluke23. Hey guys, I hope you all are doing well. My question for the Sony Pony Express this week. Yeehaw!
Yeehaw!
Out of all the games listed for 2025 so far, you can include any state-of-play games. Which one's platinum trophy would you want to hunt the most? As always, keep up the amazing work. And goon as much as you can for now. That's May is looking very busy right now. Much love to you all.
Ooh. Listen, got a goon to the moon, baby. Merch in the description. We need more gooners out there, okay? All right. No stains on those shirts, by the way. And please take a picture of your Goon to the Moon shirts. But again, no stains. Keep it clean. Keep it classy.
What? I get enough of those in my DMs.
Oh, Jesus. No. Patreon episode a few weeks back. This is a tribute. You want to get you really don't want to get the backstory to that, but.
Oh, you just gave me a cramp in my side.
God, humanity is bleak.
Quick sidebar. I got invited by somebody who texted me the wrong number today. If I'm ever in LA, to come by for some roast chicken.
Oh, yummy.
Because this text started, it was just, hey Lisa, come to my house for roast chicken tomorrow. I'm like, oh, I'm sorry, I think you have the wrong number.
Yeah.
And they go, this is embarrassing, but thanks. I was like, hey, no worries, it happens. And they're like, hey, next time you're in LA, come on by for roast chicken.
Somebody sent me a picture of their newborn.
Oh.
And I thought, like as a family member, and was like, so-and-so was born this weight, this time. And I was like, I am so happy for you, but this is not who you meant to send it for.
Yeah. Exactly.
Really cute baby, though.
Yeah.
Watch, you got an accidental dick pic. Like, I get these a lot. This is just a tribute episode. And they're like, oh my God, this is so embarrassing. You're like, it's all right, not the first. Sadly, won't even be the last this week. All right.
What was the question?
Anyways,
out of any game, yeah, go for it.
Right now is probably Lost Records because just the collectibles of that I was really intrigued by, and it seems like a tangible platinum. So I think that one for me right now. I can't think of any other game off the top of my head at this moment, if I'm being completely
honest.
There's a big one, Light, that you're super excited for.
Oh shoot, what is it?
Ghost of Yotai.
Oh, duh.
Oh, well, yeah.
Okay, to be fair, I didn't. Okay, yeah, that's true. I forgot about that. Or Shadows, Assassin's Creed Shadows. I'll platinum that. I'm forgetting all these big ones.
Because
honestly,
yeah,
that is the game for me. Because I was thinking about it literally yesterday. I'm like, dude, that preview is so awesome. Just come on, let's go. April, when is it? May, March? Could you give it to me? I don't care. Need it now.
Yeah, for me, I think I'm gonna go Death Stranding 2.
Ooh, that's gonna be a grind, right?
That's what I mean. Like, if I would love it, I don't think I'll ever get it because I don't have the first one.
It's like 150 hour plus.
Yeah.
Well, listen, gang, that has been the Trophy Room this week. Hope you all enjoyed it. I know I'm going to get some angry DMs by RFK's fan base.
The worm is typing an angry email right now.
Exactly. Worm just squirms out. Not a fan.
I think
and the earth is flat.
A couple super chats if we want to answer those real quick.
Oh, do we have some super chats in here?
I think we got a couple that I saw.
Oh, please, Kyle Stevenson, do you know how to activate the... Oh, wait, I got one. Here's Strubles and Bits at $10. He says, just want to give a quick recommendation to Ender Magnolia, the sequel to Ender Lilies, Metroidvania with Dark Souls style lore. My favorite platinum of the year so far. You already platinumed it, Strubes.
Yeah, it's on my list. But again, I was in the funk, so I didn't want to start it. It's also that weird thing, right? Because now that we're doing the Indie Game Awards for 6-1, like I feel like I have to play all these indie games, and it's a little overwhelming of how many indie games are coming out all the time. But yeah. The other one comes from Tommy earlier in the show. Just got here. Have a good show. Amazing trio. Light, any chance you stream Kingdom Come 2?
I want to play it, but going back to what Joe said about you really need to be in the mental headspace for that. Because Mr. Light is currently playing it, and he started a playthrough, and then he had to restart it because he was like, things are not clicking right now. So then he restarted it, and they were clicking. With being constantly ill, I do not have the mental fortitude to try to struggle through learning something like that. So I would like to eventually, but not until I'm healthy, and not till my brain is at full 100% capacity, and I have slept through the night for longer than 3 hours.
Yeah, because that, like, the combat alone is like 8 layers, and like just the everything. That game is nuts. Hearing Ains say he's like 200 hours in, he's not even in the second area. It's like, Jesus Christmas. So yeah, it's hardcore as fuck as what Alex says. I agree. Anyway, Kyle Stevenson, anything you'd like to spotlight before we get on out of here?
Sure. Tell somebody you love them, especially game devs out there. Tell them you appreciate what they make. You can follow me everywhere at Mr. K-Step. Go follow 61 Indie on all socials and YouTube, and go check out 61indie.com for indie news and indie reviews. And go buy our new shirt, PNPI, Punch Nazis, Play Indies. It's great. Yes.
Stop it! I love that so much.
And
it's a little
Mike
too,
was
right?
Mike was bored over the weekend. It's like, you know what? Let's throw this together, and it's like a little like pigeon talon. And it says Punch Nazis, Play Indies. So
amazing.
Go check it out.
That is amazing.
Also, just want to shout out everybody slandering Ains in the chat. He says Ains was 50 hours into Indie and still in the Vatican. I hope that's bad. He sucks. And then shout out Mike Kinberg, which I think is the first time I've seen you here. Epic Mickey 2 for PS3 is an ultra rare plat that you can get with a guide. Ooh,
nice, thank you.
Shout out to you, Mike. All right, T, anything you'd like to spotlight before you get on out of here?
My Top Gun reaction just dropped over at Lightweight Reacting, and Maverick will be dropping next week. Freaking loved those movies.
Oh
so
my god,
good.
I can't wait.
So good. Cried like a baby in the first one. Oh my god. And then you can also follow me on Lightweight Gaming for all your gaming needs. Still playing through the same games as before, Black Ops 6 and GTA San Andreas.
Am I rewatching Maverick tonight?
Yes. Yes.
Is that what I'm doing?
You are, dude. Oh my god, what I can't believe
so
I
good.
watched that.
So good.
Everybody go watch Top Gun Maverick, and then while you're at that, go to patreon.com/PS Trophy Room, help support the show. And if you like the show, please rate us 5 stars on Apple Podcasts, on Spotify, wherever you get your podcast service of choice, and you're able to rate us there. Please do so. It really does help us out. It helps grow the show. And if you like this video and you're watching on YouTube, please hit like, share, subscribe. It really does help us out and grows this big, beautiful family that we call home here over at the Trophy Room. And then be on the lookout at youtube.com/PS Trophy Room, because we got a couple of reviews coming your way. So look on that starting next week. With all that said, with all that out of the way, everybody keep your wits about you, keep hunting, and keep playing PlayStation.
Bye.
Bye, everybody. I love you.
Bye.